This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Geek Speak, the definitive 365 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish redone whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 365 Flicks podcast. Kevin, are you okay?
Yeah, man. I'm recovered. Have
you recovered?
I'm halfway. I'm getting there.
Good lad.
I'm getting there.
So this is a kind of normal episode, kind of regular schmegular, kind of not.
Yeah.
We are going to be talking mainly about Joker.
Yeah. Shit, man, that movie.
Because holy crap on a crap ball. We're going to do a couple of other things as well, but so we are going to be talking about Joker, and it's broken you a little bit. I'm worried.
This will be. You may as well call yourself Dr. Chris, and therapy is in session.
Oh my Christ!
Would you, if we had a couch, I would lie down on it.
There's a chair.
Fuck me, this movie, man. Like, yeah.
So we'll get into that. I am the Scottish Bean Whore, Chris.
Yes, you are. Let's do the business first.
And damaged next to me is
broken Kevin,
Kev Halden.
Broken Kev Halden. Delete. I'm the deleter of worlds. I'm not. I have been deleted from this world.
Have you been practicing your Joker laugh in the mirror?
Oh man. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get as Chris says. It's sort of a normal, regular episode. Kind of not a little bit though. We're going to mostly be doing a Joker review. I'm just going to put it out there now. It's going to be spoilers. It's going to be spoiler heavy.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the movie, you're an idiot. Go out and see it. You need to see this movie. Everybody needs to see this movie.
You know what? I've said to a few people over the last couple of days, saw Joker on Saturday night, and people have been going, really? I've heard it was crap.
Oh man.
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Have you read one of these mainstream media reviews?
I've read that people are walking out en masse, apparently.
Yeah.
Although I did see a couple of people walking out the cinema.
Did you?
When we were in there on Saturday night.
Oh.
I did see a couple of people walking out and not coming back in.
That escaped me. I didn't see that.
I know it was all.
You know what they are? Millennials.
Pussies. Yep.
No, man.
People are walking out en masse.
I've been seeing
this
theory
the gun
as well.
Violence.
The gun violence. There's barely any violence in this movie, and it's mostly knife crime and pillow crime. So, you know,
there's not any gun violence. We've already said spoilers. So
yeah, it's going to be spoilers.
There's not any gun violence until the end of the fucking movie.
Yeah,
more or less. And let's face it, John Wick's done worse.
Well,
so
exactly. This is what's killing me, and we'll talk about it in the proper review. But I love the fact that people are like saying that this movie's inciting hate, it's inciting violence, it's glorifying violence apparently. Whereas nobody's saying that shit about John Wick. Nobody's turning around and saying, "Oh well, just because it looks cool."
Here's the thing. Are they saying that?
I'm not sure.
Or is it a thing on Lad Bible or whatever the fuck to make people go, ew, I need to see that?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. A lot of the reviews I've been reading, because I have been going in on the reviews on this movie, I've been kind of reading a lot of things, but what I'm tending to find is a little bit of a trend of the headline gets me, like, hooked, because it's like, oh, like, violence, history, whatever, fucking, you know, like, it's a catchy headline that instantly makes me want to read it, mostly because of knee-jerk reactions. But then once I get into it, they're not really referencing anything from the movie. They're not really referencing any themes of the movie. They're just kind of references the trailer that they saw or what other people have been saying.
Yeah.
Half these people haven't even seen the movie.
Yeah.
And this is a massive problem.
Facebook in 2019.
But there's a big problem. You know, if you haven't seen it, shut the fuck up. Because I think most of the people, like you say, that are walking out of this film, I genuinely think it's because it's tapping into a part of them they don't want to admit.
Well, yeah.
Because Jesus did it not. We'll get to it.
We will get to
We'll
it.
get to
we
it.
will. We are the 365 Licks podcast.
Yes.
We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on the Spotify's and the Apple Podcasts. We are on Tangent Bound. We are on Wicked Radio Network. We are on We Be Geeks. We are on fucking Nerdly.co.uk.
Yeah, boy.
Yes.
Yep. Phil will be chuffed.
Hashtag BritPod. Has he been bitching about me like?
I has I.
Bastard.
He's like, what about that her? I don't know why he talks like that. What about that horror?
What about
Chris?
your father?
He doesn't talk like
What
that.
about that
We met
fucking
him.
cunt, Chris?
We met him. He's got like one
See,
of those
that started
accents
off
from
Irish,
down
and I don't know
south.
where it ended up. Hashtag BritPod scene. Hashtag Podden family. No fucking point. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, man. No, man.
It started off well.
So, as Chris says, you can find us in all those places. I do want to ask, because this is going to be a little bit of a different episode. So, if you don't want any spoilers on the Joker movie, if you haven't seen it yet, do go away and have a listen to some of our other episodes. We've got like 100 and odd episodes out there. Have a listen. Give us a little rate and review, because it all helps on the Apple algorithms. I think that's what they do, isn't it? I don't know how it works.
Do all
But
the algorithms.
yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of news. I've got some news here. Nothing that's going to incite any rants, I don't think. Which is a shame.
That is a shame.
Which is a shame. It would have been nice to get started on a rant. But after that, we're going to throw in some other movies we've been watching, because we don't want to give you a massive lethal injection of the Joker movie review. So we got some other stuff we're going to talk about, and then we have a top 5 which is related to the movie. And Batman things related. It's top 5 Batman villains
Portrayals.
and the portrayal of them. Because obviously a few of them have had different portrayals.
Well, I just went with top 5 portrayals.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just saying, like, a couple of people have played Two-Face, like Tommy Lee Jones and Aaron Eckhart.
Mm-hmm.
So, which one did you think was better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not them.
But we will get into that a little bit later. But first of all, we have got a news section. So, before I get started, do you have anything that you wanna?
I do.
Oh, fuck me.
Well done to the Hobby Boys.
Yeah, they did cracking, didn't they?
Apparently, we weren't there.
Yeah, we weren't there.
Alas.
And apparently, because I didn't even look into it, but well done, lads.
But yeah, well done. They were
No, I
on
did.
the centre big stage at the Cincinnati Comic Expo, doing their thing, doing a big quiz and all that, and there was bloody loads of people there.
I saw.
We are proud of you guys, so well done on that. And speaking of well done, I was watching a new Netflix show called Raising Dion last night.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And so it's about a kid who has superpowers. And
I've seen the trailer.
It's actually I'll get to it, but it's really really fucking good. It's like half-hour episodes.
That's doable.
And it's just a nice little show. It's mainly about his mother trying to protect him from the world. But we'll get to that. But his godfather is a big comic book nerd, so he's
Nice.
kind of becoming the kid's mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So about 5 minutes into episode 2, we wake up to, or the godfather wakes up to his phone going off, and his phone is resting on top of a copy of The Motherfucking Shepherd.
Yeah, Andrea Molinari fame. Former guest of the show, Andrea, came on a while back, and then he came on to do one of the Road to Infinity Wars episodes as well.
Yeah, it was Thor. Was it Dark World?
I want to say it was one of the Thors.
It was the first one, wasn't it? It wouldn't be Dark World.
Hopefully it was one of them, because the second one.
We wouldn't have done that to Andrea. Not Dark
No.
World.
But that's fucking huge, because that's a Netflix TV show that's going to be seen by millions upon squillions, and there is Andrea's book left and centre, just right there. Yeah, I saw the screenshot that you put up, and then I saw he posted something today, saying that he'd pretty much forgotten about it until you flagged it up. So that was awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just one of those things last night that, you know how they do the preview thing, which mostly annoys me.
Yeah.
And then, bloody hell, episode 2, The Shepherd.
I'm not going to lie.
It was a proper double take. It's like, fucking hell.
I'm not going to lie. There's a chance I would have missed that. If I was watching that, I would have missed that.
It's right there, man.
But then again, we do have like another friend of the show who turned up in your short movie, the Titanic book that nobody ever reads. That was in there. So, trendsetters, just saying.
Well, yeah.
You come on the 365 Flicks podcast, or are friends of the 365 Flicks or not friends.
Let's face it, you can't really put them in the same sentence because The Shepherd is actually good.
Yeah. Well, no, that's unfair because Jeff Morris, Scab Jeff of Hobie fame, Baldylocks, who wrote the fantastic Ghosts of the Titanic of the Abyss.
Zombies,
something zombie movie. It was something like that.
I think it was zombies.
Well, when he wrote it, because the text was so small and the margins were so big, it's easy to keep notes. And I've never seen another writer that's done that before.
And also, if you've got a wonky desk.
Boosh. Or, and in the old pod studio, the mouse used to sit on top of it because it was good.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, when the coming apocalypse arrives.
Yeah. Easy for you to say.
You can, I know, right? You can burn that because we won't be losing anything.
we wouldn't. Do you think that's like one of those books they wouldn't mind you burning?
They're like, please do.
You know how they get all up in arms about burning books and be like, no, not that one, this one.
We'll keep Dan Brown and we'll put that one.
Dan Brown. Oh no. Oh, sorry, Jeff.
Nah.
But we're gonna get into the news proper in a second. But dude, did you happen to see something on Facebook? Did you happen to hear a little rumor about one Kevin Halden scoring his first SBS goal?
Oh, Jesus Christ, is that news?
That is damn right. That's newsworthy.
Surely it's news for Sky Sports rather than a TV and film podcast.
I am the host of this said podcast, and I'm going to tell people about it because I scored a goal, and I'm very, very happy about it. So fuck you.
Congratulations on your goal.
Thank you. I don't accept your congratulations because it's through gritted teeth. Yeah, so anyway, I also play a little bit of football for a seniors team because I'm 35 and apparently that's seniors age. And I scored my first ever goal for the team, and I've only played like about 10 games. So 1 goal in 10 games, that's a pretty good average.
You're defensive, aren't you?
No, I'm left wing.
Well,
I can play defence sometimes. Don't like to, but I can. However, I'm left wing.
So you're left wing and you only scored 1 goal.
Yeah, but come on, right? The way I see it, it's been like 10 or 11, maybe 15, 20 games that I've played. But my average, right, is 1 shot, 1 goal. So that's pretty fucking good. If you go on
you played 15 games and that was your first shot.
I'm batting a 100% average. Well, I'm not now because I played last Sunday and I had quite a few shots and didn't score any more goals. So my average is pretty much in the fucking pan. But it's awesome. I'm still really enjoying playing for the team, and I just want to give all the boys a quick shout out. Kev Wright, the man, the myth, the legend that is running the whole thing. He's a friend of the show. He took us to see the ICW when we got to see Kurt Angle live, Finn Balor live. That was 2 years ago. We went up there. That was an amazing trip. Just great to see a different kind of wrestling promotion. Kev's an awesome lad, and he's running the show on the. There are other guys in there, Chunk helps out. Cam's in there. We've got Andy who does the fixtures and stuff. But let it be known that Kev's the driving force and the fruit of my loins. I feel like
you're the heart of the team now.
I feel like I'm the soul of the team, but not soul as in soul like the sole of your shoe.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I'm just
the
there.
Anus. You're the anus.
I'll take the anus. I do take anus.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this whole thing. We played another game last weekend. We got beat actually. It was a really good game.
Oh yeah, was that Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we should have won that game, but just on the day they were a better team, so fair play to them.
Was it a moral victory?
No, it wasn't even a moral victory. For me it was, because I played well. Everybody else played shit, but no, they didn't. They all played fantastic, so don't drop me. But yeah, I just want to give that a shout out, because the boys are doing amazing. The whole ethos behind the team is fantastic. Everybody's just loving playing football again. It's a group of lads who didn't really think they'd be playing again. So we are playing, and it's awesome.
It's like the X Factor.
It's like what's a sports movie that I can relate it to? I can't. I'm not going to bother. So, would you like to move on to the news?
The Titans won with Denzel.
Remember the Titans,
That's it, man.
but we're not black.
You're Chinese.
Wow. So surely that would be like, what was it? The Bad News Bears goes to Tokyo or something. I'll be the one that brought back. Ding ping.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
But again, huge shout out to Kev Wright and the boys who are running the whole SBS thing. I'm loving it. It's great. Let's keep going forward and on to the next one for the win, which is against Coldstream.
Kill them.
But anyway, so let's get into the news. Quick newsy bit, and then we'll go.
Hey guys, this is Venice, and I've got a message from a friend of mine about my favorite podcast.
It's your boy, Flavor Flav in full effect. Check this out, everybody. I want y'all to go check out TJ,
What's good, everybody? TJ Johnson here for Voice from the Underground. I am the most handsome.
Big Has,
And I'm smoking my cigar, of course.
you know what I'm saying, and Josh.
You pick me up in an Uber and a PT Cruiser, I'm calling Lyft.
Cause they be fighting the power, talking about social issues, politics, you know what I'm saying?
And we're not even that good. Right, we're terrible. Terrible. Tangents all over the place.
And not only that, but they be keeping it fun with the sports, music, comics, and movies too.
Am I allowed to talk?
I think no, not right now.
Shut up, colonizer!
You know what I'm saying? He on Twitter at VFU Podcast. So you can find them, So check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy.
Okay, what Flav was trying to say is check out Voice from the Underground on your favorite podcast network.
Voice from the Underground.
I'm going to start off in an obvious place because we have got a big review coming up for the Joker movie. We both went to see it, but I just want to give you some numbers because it turns out the little movie that couldn't is actually the little movie that could. Remember a year ago or a year and a half ago when they said Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips were making a Joker movie? And you and I went, bleh, bleh,
Yeah.
bleh. Not watching that, not watching that.
I'm not watching that.
Remember that?
I do remember that.
Remember that? I kind of now know how it feels to be you when Guardians 1 was
Oh,
coming
you
out.
fucker.
I do. But I don't have to apologise because towards the end I was like, you know what, I kind of want to see it. So
Well, neither do I.
no, you don't on this one, but on Guardians you totally did because it was like 2 years later before you watched it.
And that was how many years ago now?
A good 7 or 8.
Shut the fuck up.
But yeah, so I'm just going to read out some numbers here because it is doing absolutely incredible. So this weekend saw the Warner Brothers DC Comics adaptation. They didn't put DC Comics in the credits, did they?
No.
I think they did at the end, but at the start it was just Warner Brothers.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it sort of sets it. It does set it apart even more. Adaptation of the Joker deliver the largest October domestic opening weekend all time, and the 4th largest opening ever R-rated feature. The film was #1 movie domestically and overseas, kicking things off with a $234 million million dollars global launch. With an estimated 93.5 million, Warner Brothers Joker delivered the largest October domestic opening ever. That's like Thursday to Friday, which beats Venom. Venom was the first one, did it last year. It's pretty much smashed Venom by a clear like 13-14 million, which is no small feat, especially for a movie that, let's be honest, didn't really seem like it was coming from a good place. The DCEU is pretty much in the pan.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I don't think it is in the pan anymore. I think that the likes of Wonder Woman, your Aquaman, and now this.
Yeah,
I think it's turned a corner. I think it's on the way back. I don't think that sort of internet toxicity is there anymore.
it doesn't feel like it is because, like you say, Aquaman, Shazam, we've got Wonder Woman 2 coming up. Whatever happens with this Joker thing, I have thoughts on what I would like to see happen. We might not. We'll see. But opening day audience gave the film a cinema score of B+, and Rotten Tomatoes. This is weird. So the gap between audience and the critics is is like pretty big. It's getting bigger and bigger between scores for any movie really. But the critics, I thought the critics would love this. Like I thought critics were going to see this and they were going to see like
this is the kind of movie that
so
like critics would spunk all over.
Yeah, so on Rotten Tomatoes, which again isn't the site that we love and we don't endorse, but it's out there, so we're gonna put it forward. Critics gave it 69%.
Did they just want to do 69?
I think that's pretty low though for the type of movie it is. I would have thought this movie would get the critics' juices going, and whereas the audience scored it a whopping 91%. So at least the audience has taken to it, which is not what the news is telling us, but okay. So it scored an impressive IMDb 9.1 out of 10 on
That's
IMDb,
right.
which
That's
is
like.
no small feat for IMDb. And so it skewed heavily towards the male at 64%, while 66% of the audience was under 35, apparently. I don't know what that means to anything, but whatever. Just some facts and some figures that I want to throw out there. All in all, the movie's doing cracking. It's considering all the news that's coming out about it, and like you say, people walking out, it seems like it's doing pretty well.
I think that's just the way to get people in.
Is any news bad news? I don't know.
Some news is bad news.
Like some of these people walking out of cinemas and trying to get the damn thing banned. That just makes me want to go and see it more.
Yeah, I don't believe that's a thing.
If you tell me I can't see a movie,
that is trying to get that reaction out of people.
Yeah. Hopefully it is, and it seems to be working. So, yeah. Onto some other news. Hosts. Yes, a movie that we spoke to Richard Oakes, the DOP co-director with Adam Leader, starring Neil Ward, who's also been on the show. They've all been on the podcast before. They released the trailer for their new movie, Hosts. What did you think?
It looks bloody great.
Looks dark.
Yeah, good.
Neil looks awesome.
Neil always looks awesome.
I'm not gonna lie, he's a man crush, but I love the dude. He's just awesome. It's great. I think the trailer looks absolutely fantastic, and if the rumors that they themselves are spreading would have us believe, Richard and Adam have been over in America talking to Blumhouse.
Yes.
Which is a big horror company. So
and may or may not have seen the 40s on Facebook, maybe.
They may or may not be sowing seeds of deceit. I like to think it's real. I hope it is. It must be, yeah. You don't say you're going for meetings with Blumhouse unless you're actually having those meetings, because then you're going to look pretty damn foolish.
Yeah, unless it was like Blumhouse and then it turned out to be, I don't know, like Universal or something.
Oh God, you don't want that. You don't want to be part of the Dark Universe.
Oh no.
Put you in with the Mummy. The Mummy with Tom Cruise. Hosts with Neil Ward. I'd rather watch Hosts. But that movie's looking great. I'm hearing really good things from the guys. We're always talking, and Neil seems really happy with what he's seen. So, yeah, hopefully the guys will give us an early preview screener of it. Wink, wink. Supersize, wink.
Or an invite to the...
That's in the bag. That's in the bag.
That would be nice.
I mean, if that doesn't come, then we won't be promoting the movie. We'll just be...
With notice, please.
With notice, yeah. At least 2 hours notice, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be heading our way
Not frickin'
very
48
soon.
hours notice.
If you want to see the trailer, which I guarantee you do, because it just looks mental and great, get yourself onto the YouTube. Look for Hosts, the movie. Neil Ward's in it. So, let's get into some other news. Len Wiseman. Remember Len Wiseman? He did the Total Recall movie with Colin Farrell in 2012. I think he was something to do with the Underworld movies. I don't know. Anyway, he's returning to the screen after a long absence since Total Recall. John Wick spin-off Ballerina.
Aye.
How do we feel about a John Wick spin-off?
I'm okay with the John Wick spin-off.
Yeah?
Yes, I am.
So,
when you're watching those movies, it feels like a very, very rich universe.
Yeah.
And
considering we've only taken on like 3 days of it.
Yeah. It feels like a very rich universe, and I think that there are more stories to tell. Don't make it the underworld just in John Wick, though. Please.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. From what I've read, early synopsis, we don't have a lead actress because obviously ballerina, it's a girl. So we have a the story is to focus on a female assassin out for revenge on the people responsible for the death of her family.
Is it going to be a kitten this time?
Yeah, it's a family.
All right.
It's going to be a mom and dad.
Her mum.
I'm assuming because it's called ballerina as well, it's going to tie in to like Angelica Houston's character because she had all that namby-pamby ballerina pish. So that's going to be a thing. Keanu Reeves is set to produce. No word yet on whether he's going to be in it. He'll be in it.
Well, I saw before we're getting John Wick 4 in 2021.
Well, yeah, we're getting John Wick 4 in 2021, but he's also got like the Bill and Ted movie.
The Matrix 4.
The Matrix
Busy
4.
Man.
Have you seen who they've cast for the Matrix 4?
No.
I know like the main ones are all going to be in it, but you know, I never remember his name. You know the guy that played Black Manta in Aquaman? The baddie in Aquaman. Aquaman accidentally killed his dad at the start.
Oh shit, I can't.
He's just a big guy. He's awesome. Well, he is apparently going to be in the Matrix in an unspecified role. But yeah, so Reeves is set to produce. Probably have a role. I'm guessing he will. So, also I think there's like a John Wick animated thing coming. I couldn't make out if it was like a.
You know what? I would read a graphic novel. But...
Yeah, I would probably. Maybe not. So, let's get into some Oscar talk, because
Oscar talk.
Yeah.
Oscar talk.
It's
fucking October.
No, this is a man who has decided to take himself out of the running. Mr. Robert Downey Jr. has petitioned or nixed the idea of Marvel and Disney going forward for Oscar consideration for his role as Tony Stark in Endgame.
Oh,
okay. He doesn't want to be considered. Now, the only reason I bring this up, and it's probably going to sound like a bit of a dickish thing to say, I don't think that would ever have been for consideration.
No.
Like, okay, Robert Downey Jr. is great as Tony Stark, but that movie and that role, I just don't think Robert Downey Jr. would be in the running for it.
No, I don't know where this is coming from.
Well, apparently there was like a massive... Well, you know how people love a petition. So there was this huge petition that people wanted to get Robert Downey Jr. pushed, because you know that the studios have to push these guys. They have to push for the nominations, they have to push for the film into the categories and everything, and they have to send out all the things and all schmooze all the guys that do the choosing. So there was a big thing for them to...
Let's just say it. Bribe,
yeah. Well, that obviously, yeah, you know, cross their palm with silver. But so there was a big petition to get Robert Downey Jr. into the conversation at least. And Robert Downey Jr. has now turned around, and I think rightly so, and said he doesn't want to be in the conversation. He doesn't want them to push for it.
Let's just face it. The man's already won an Oscar for, was it Chaplin?
See, right, now.
Isn't that a thing?
I thought he had. But the article I read today, he's been nominated twice for an Oscar, and he hasn't won it yet.
I thought he won the best actor for
I was convinced he won it for Chaplin, but because that was his big comeback piece. Like, when he was in the doldrums, and he was, like, basically on his arse.
Like, this is just before he got Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
Season 4.
Yeah, so, like, he did Chaplin.
When he hit the big time.
What, Ally McBeal? Yeah, big time.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, definitely. But I thought he'd won that for Chaplin, and it turns out... Unless I'm reading the article wrong.
I genuinely thought he'd won that for Chaplin.
So did I.
There you go.
But now apparently he doesn't want to be in the running, and please don't nominate him for an Oscar.
Is that like really genuinely like, no, I don't want it, or don't you dare you.
I hope it's...
Don't you throw me a party.
I hope it's that he just realises he wouldn't win the damn thing.
You know, like, don't you buy me that fucking iPad, you.
Okay.
You cheeky wee monkey.
I'm not going to. Tom Holland is apparently getting all the credit for bringing Spidey back to... Oh, by the way, It's been a wee while since we spoke. Spidey's coming back to the MCU.
Spidey is coming back.
Yeah. See, now I have a little bit of grievance with this whole story because they're saying that Tom Holland has been campaigning to Sony and to Marvel to bring them back together, to get them back in the room and get them talking and all that.
Well. He unfollowed Sony on Instagram.
Oh no.
That is some heavy shit.
I'll tell you what, that will do it.
That will do it.
In this day and age, that will do it. That is mental.
I saw that and I went,
damn, Sony.
She real.
Damn, Sony. What you gonna do?
And they were like, oh my Christ, we better. I actually like to think they went full Pamela and went, oh my Christ, we'd better get Tom Holland back in the MCU right now. Michael!
I don't think that's what happened. I think what actually happened, let's be honest, one of two things happened. Sony and Disney realized they were going to miss out on a shit ton of money. They were both going to lose out on a shit ton of money and went, you know what, fuck it, let's just make another one.
You know what, I said it at the time, the whole bloody thing was just posturing to get a better deal.
However, as I remember it at the time that this was all getting spoken about, no matter what happened, Sony, Marvel still had to make a third movie.
Yeah, that's what I.
There was always a third
because the Far From Home made over $1 billion.
Yeah,
and so there was going to be a third movie no matter what.
So there was always no matter what. So really, Tom, unfollowing Sony, because I know you're listening, unfollowing Sony on Instagram or whatever it was doesn't really matter because they were always going to make that third movie. So what's the story here? I don't really understand. But it's sweeping the nation.
Is it?
Apparently.
Is it?
Apparently. And on Tom Holland,
like on Facebook when people when they go, people are losing their minds over this new fucking Netflix show that is scarier than anything else, and it turns out to be shite because it's fucking French. Spoilers, that's coming up.
Okay. On Tom Holland though. The Uncharted movie is moving rapidly forward. He is definitely playing Nathan Drake. We've spoken about this before, but we weren't 100% certain if it was happening. Definitely playing Nathan Drake, and Bumblebee director Travis Knight has taken up.
Oh, not wrong with Bumblebee.
Bumblebee's the better of the Transformers movies. I'll give it that. Christopher Eccleston.
Who?
Christopher Eccleston. I see what you did there. Yeah, I see what you did there. Very good. For our American audience.
You're welcome.
That was a Doctor Who joke. Hang your head. So, Christopher Eccleston at New York Comic Con did a big panel. I don't know what it was for, but he did a bit. I'm assuming it was Doctor Who. Did a big panel, and he would be very much open to returning to the MCU as Malekith. Because obviously that character got absolutely robbed of any sense of story.
I think because it's Christopher Eccleston, give him another chance with a competent director.
This is the thing. This is his only stipulation. I mean, not that Christopher Eccleston, could be so bold to have a stipulation nowadays. But Christopher Eccleston says he would return to the Thor franchise in particular, was it to be written by the Ragnarok guys, which is Taika. Ooh. So he'd be happy to return under Taika, basically. I mean, I'd return under Taika, so.
Everybody
wants lot of sexy time jokes going on. Yeah. So would you be happy seeing Chris coming back?
You know what, why not? He was probably one of the only bearable parts of the Dark World.
Bearable as in barely in it.
Yeah. He got fucked over, let's face it.
Well, he got Edward Norton, so. Although
not quite.
At least Ed Norton got a full movie out of it. Although he's been coming out recently and said that there was never a falling out. Apparently Marvel never fell out with Ed Norton. I think he's maybe trying to get back in, but okay.
I think maybe he meant he didn't fall out with them. But they thought he was a cunt. Yeah.
Well, when you're rewriting the director's dialogue on set, as you're between takes, you're probably going to come across as a bit of a bellend.
The director's going, can we please get Mark Ruffalo?
I wanted Ruffalo. They gave me this prick. I know he's like, I know he's in Fight Club, and I love Fight Club.
Fucking Fight Club. Get me Ruffalo!
Do you think he said that on set?
Get me Ruffalo?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Get Mark Ruffalo in here. I hope so. Yeah. Anyway, we totally tangented.
Anyway.
Where were we? So, more Spider-Man news. Sony have announced another Spider-Man universe spin-off movie with Madam Web. Do you know anything about this character?
Madam Web, I do not.
Madam Web. I was going to read the article, but honestly, I just couldn't give a fuck. So they've decided that they're going to make a Madam Web movie, whatever the fuck that is.
I don't know what that is.
I'm sure there'll be Marvel fans out there and Spider-Man fans out there screaming at me right now. But it just proves that they're pretty much committed to this whole universe now.
That's good. That's good. I Into the Spider-Verse is a cracker movie.
Yeah.
Still should have Tobey Maguire in there.
Yeah, I would have been okay with that. Who did play old Peter?
Dunno. Not Tobey Maguire.
Okay. That's fine.
It was someone.
It was someone. It definitely was someone.
Yeah.
But obviously, they've got the Morbius movie with Jared Leto coming out. Still ain't seen shit about that movie.
I'm interested-ish.
Venom 2's still happening.
I still want to see Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope. I'd be up for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to see that while they are willing to have Tom Holland go back into the MCU and do that they're happy enough to carry on with their own thing as well and keep on keeping on.
Chris Pine.
That was it, yes, Chris Pine.
Huh. And Nick Cage played Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah, but you knew that.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to move away from Spider-Man news and from comic book news for a split second, because it has recently come out. Matt Damon. Have you seen this? Possibly the biggest regret of his career. I'm going to say it's the biggest regret of his career. And no, we're not talking talented Mr. Ripley. We are talking Matt Damon was offered the lead role in Avatar by James Cameron. So, James Cameron, yeah.
They went to fucking, what's his name?
Yeah.
Blimey.
Yeah, he turned it down for Bourne Ultimatum, though.
Yeah, the Bourne movies are way better than Avatar.
No, exactly. He turned it down for that. Apparently, it was going to cause conflict with the Bourne Ultimatum, and he didn't want to upset his friend Paul Greengrass, who'd only just really come back onto the franchise, so he was like, you know what? No. But this fucking blows my mind. He wasn't... He would have been offered a paycheck. He would have been offered, like, because, you know, at that time, I think he's still commanding a decent wage. But James Cameron was saying, look, I don't need you in this movie. And he says, if you don't want to do this movie, because James Cameron wanted him, if you don't want to do it, I will get an unknown to play this role. Probably as a way of showing...
Well, he didn't really get an unknown, he got an interchangeable.
Yeah, he got a Joel Kinnaman and Jai Courtney. So he was kind of like, so if you don't want to do it, I'll get an unknown and it'll be fine. I don't need you for this movie. However, he offered Matt Damon, and this is only reportedly, but it's coming from Matt Damon, so I kind of believe it. He offered Matt Damon 10% of the gross.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
So this is what he was being offered to be in Avatar, which, as we know, has gone on to become, you know, it's now the second biggest movie of all time because of Endgame. But reportedly, he would have made $250 million for being an Avatar.
He'll have made that since then, though.
Well, the thing is, he said in the interview, he says, you know what, though, I'm doing okay. My kids are eating.
Yeah, like
so he's happy.
They're fucking eating gold. The Bourne films were popular as fuck. They'll have made that. Be fine.
He might have made it for his entire body of work, but this would have been one movie.
Yeah, but it's quality, not quantity.
Exactly.
So, you know.
But one of the things he did say is that the only reason he really fully regrets the choice of not doing it
is $250 million.
It's $250 million. That's got to be the reason, isn't it? But
$250 million, pretty good reason.
But Cameron must have said to him about if you look back at James Cameron's body of work at that point in time, and it's probably still the same because I think he's only done Avatar. He'd only made 6 movies in his career.
Huh.
But there were 6 movies that everybody knows.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
6 movies that everybody adores. So
5.
Matt Damon pretty much said in the interview he knew that turning it down, he probably wouldn't get the chance to work with James Cameron again, and that's like his biggest regret. along with the 250 million.
Although, if he'd taken that part in the hope that he was going to work with James Cameron again and again and again,
Yeah.
like, 10 years later, he's not made another movie, so...
Exactly.
Kids wouldn't be in there, mate. Swings and roundabouts.
Swings and roundabouts. But, dude, 250 million. That is mental.
Yeah, but Born.
That's it.
I'm trying to be in Born.
No.
That's a t-shirt.
In comparison, right? How much do you think Sam Worthington got paid to be an Avatar? Because it's not 250 million.
10% of the profits.
You think Sam Worthington was like, right, whatever you offered Matt Damon, I'll take half of that. And James Cameron...
Listen, no.
And Joel... James Cameron turns around and says, look, Joel Kinnaman, no, we're not doing that, because all you've been in is fucking Terminator Salvation, and you fucked that up as well. Right.
I like to think that any movie that Sam Worthington or any of those guys are on, they're just constantly calling them the other names.
Do you think it's like the audition process? They go in and like every time they audition for a new movie, like Sam Worthington.
Is it Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, when they meet the other folk.
No, what movie?
Right.
Oh fuck! What movie is it when? Fuck it! When he goes it's Love Actually.
Oh, Ant or Dec.
Ant or Dec.
Nah, I think it's a case of like there's literally just like an audition room, and like Joel Kinnaman walks in, Jai Courtney sat there, fucking Sam Worthington sat there, Joel Edgerton sat there.
Right, I'll get a dart.
Jason Clarke sat there, and it's like whoever's the best on the day, or whoever's going to work for free, basically.
You got the last one. It's my turn. Fuck you.
Right. Okay. Jurassic World 3.
Did you see the short?
The short. Yes, I did. The Battle of Little Rock.
Make that.
Yeah, that looked pretty good, didn't it? I'm in for that. Yeah. But interestingly enough, when that got premiered in a big ass cinema in Los Angeles, a certain person turned up and announced that 3 people are coming back.
Are they? Or is it going to be like fucking Fallen Kingdom where Jeff Goldblum is just welcome to Jurassic World?
It's pretty much confirmed that all 3 of them are coming back, and the articles that I've been reading, I've read a few different articles, are saying that it's a pretty substantial role. What that means, I don't know, because it's Jurassic World.
If it's in the tone of this short film,
yeah,
I'm in.
It's got to be, because everybody was like, man, everybody loved that.
That was proper tense.
They should just do like about 10 of them before the movie comes out.
Mm-hmm. Or just do 10 of them.
Because that would make a movie. So yeah, in case you're not understanding who I'm talking about, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, all coming back. Buzzing.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see Sam Neill in there again. Yeah. Jurassic Park 3 was awesome.
Underrated.
Yeah, definitely underrated. William H. Macy, man. He should be in everything. So yeah, Clerks 3 is on. Kevin Smith has decided Clerks 3 is a go.
Really?
So he's been doing press tour for the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which I'm still completely out. I'm not even interested. The whole idea of making making a reboot, but the movie is a reboot of them making the reboot within the movie. It just fucking sounds terrible to me. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna watch it. I don't want to. I'm pretty not bothered about it, but I'm going to watch it. But during the tour, he has announced that he's got an idea for Clerks 3. He's written a script. He's basing it on, you know how he had a heart attack a couple of years ago, and it's basically scared him thin. Because have you seen him recently? He's like a fucking twig. Dude looks unhealthy.
Yeah.
People thought he looked unhealthy then. He looks unhealthy now. So he had that, and it gave him like a sort of epiphany to change his life. He's gone thin and all that. The story of this movie is supposedly going to be that Randall has a heart attack at the start of the movie, starts thinking about his life and that he's accomplished fuck all, so decides that he and Dante are going to make a movie called Clerks.
Oh, fuck off.
What the fuck is Kevin Smith smoking now? Like, I know, like, what is he on? I'm okay with this meta culture and this geek culture where we reference things, but he is going so far over the top of this shit that it's just making me lose all kinds of respect.
That is basically the end of Mario Brothers, the post-credits scene where they go, "It'll make a hell of a game."
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, so he's decided...
Just make He-Man.
He's decided that Dante and Randall... He's doing that, though, isn't he? He's doing the cartoon, but he's decided that Dante and Randall are going to make a movie based on their time in the video shop, and it's called Clerks. Which, to me, everybody's... All the comments I see is like, "Oh, Kevin Smith's bringing it full circle. Oh, Kevin Smith's bringing it full circle." And I'm just like, you know what, man? If that's what full circle looks like, you can keep it, man. I don't need it.
I'm not going to watch that. I've only seen Clerks 2 once, and we were talking the whole way through it.
I love Clerks too. I'm alright with it.
Yeah.
But on another note,
Is that the one that had Rosario Dawson?
Yeah.
Bless her.
The two of them, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, are getting a Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame.
Jason Mewes is getting a Hollywood?
Yeah, man, it's Jason Mewes.
Okay.
He's probably the more relevant of the two right now.
It's like a side path.
Obviously, it's not going to be on the main...
Yeah, they're not putting Jason Mewes next to fucking Meryl Streep or something.
No.
Jesus Christ.
God, no. It would be next to, like, Cary Grant or, I don't know, someone else.
Well done. So we've got Meryl Streep and Cary Grant, right?
And someone else. We're going to move on to the Joker review in a quick second. But before we do, this is a little bit of Batman news. Have you seen Jonah Hill? They are talking to Jonah Hill for the Matt Reeves Batman movie.
Okay.
And Jeffrey Wright as well. The two of them, which I'm not sure. The only person I can see Jonah Hill playing is probably Penguin. Like, but is he fat still, or has he lost all the weight again?
It goes back and forward.
It's like swings and roundabouts. Yeah. But that's just something that's out there. Apparently Jeffrey Wright, who I do like. Remember Jeffrey Wright? He was in one of the James Bonds. He was in The Manchurian Candidate years ago. He was in Westworld.
I didn't watch that.
He's, you know Jeffrey Wright. As soon as you see his Chevy Chase, you'll know who he is. That was Face.
I know that.
Thank you. But yeah, apparently they're in talks with Matt Reeves and all that lot.
Okay.
I do like him.
Yeah,
I think he could add quite a bit of clout because he is a very good actor. But
he was also in Casino Royale.
Yes, one of the James Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
I did say that. So, do you want to go into the Joker review?
Yes.
Please do.
Yes.
Right. So, cheeky little
Please do.
promo, and we'll get into it.
You've heard others, but nothing could prepare you for the shameful stupidity that is the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Witness the hubris as they claim to be the world's authority on comic book movies.
Who said that?
Never said that. We've never said that.
Who cares? A jock said that.
Comic book, TV, movie reviews, news, and whatever they choose. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. The Jock and Nerd Podcast. Seriously, people really listen to this.
Jock and Nerd!
So, are you all right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This movie absolutely fucking sideswiped me. Like, I wasn't expecting this movie. I was expecting something dark. I was expecting. I mean, I saw from the trailers it looked like a very Taxi Driver. It looked very heavily Martin Scorsese-esque. So,
Definitely.
So
we're just gonna do another spoiler. A warning.
Yeah.
Just if you missed it at the start, this is going to be full spoilers.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No going backsies. Continue.
Yeah, so I kind of knew the feeling that the movie was going to be, but the content I didn't really know much about it.
I didn't really want to.
I didn't want to either.
As we said before, when it was first announced, we were both very much in the camp of, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to watch that. I don't need it. I don't want to watch that. I don't need a Joker Oranges movie.
Joker Orange. I'm making that t-shirt.
And then the second or the third trailer came out, and we both went, "Fuck yes, fuck yes, we want to see."
And
that
it wasn't
movie.
a case of. It wasn't a case of the trailer got me massively excited. It kind of felt to me like this is a movie I'm gonna need to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and it very much is. It's. But I mean, we went to the. We went to the wrong cinema.
That was a good start.
Yeah, it was a good start.
Yeah.
So we tried to see if other tickets were available for the next showing, and so we went to the touchscreeny thing, and the entire night, the entire rest of the night. This was like 7 o'clock at night or something, or 7:30. Pardon me. And the entire rest of the night, every single showing, the entire rest of the night was sold out.
Something I've not seen for a long time.
Maybe, Jurassic Park?
Back in the day, Jurassic Park.
Braveheart?
Back in the day, yeah.
You know, I can't think of a movie in the last 10 years that's done that.
Even the likes of Endgame and Infinity War, I can't remember seeing full sold, not across the board. Maybe like
I said to you on the way back, like, Darkest Hour was packed out.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine it being... Okay, so if you turned up at the cinema, and who does that? If you turned up at the cinema... Silly cunts to go to the wrong cinema.
Yeah.
If you turned up at the cinema, you probably would have gotten another showing of Darkest Hour.
Yeah, but how often through that night are they showing the Darkest Hour? Because this was on like every screen. There was a show in every half an hour. It was mental to see all of those screens sold out. Like I was...
And I can't think of... I cannot think of a movie in the last 10, 15 years that's done that. And it feels like this movie is something very, very special.
Yeah.
And, so it's a probably the best known villain.
Yeah. No, he is the best known villain.
I mean, your Darth Vaders, your Hannibal Lecters and all that.
Yeah.
But it's the fucking Joker.
Joker's in there. He's in that conversation.
I mean, as villains go, the Joker is probably the best known villain in the world.
And that's for non-comic book fans as well. They know who he is.
And this is how the Joker, or a version of how the Joker became the Joker. And so, for people pissing and moaning about how dark it is, what the fuck do you expect?
I think they were expecting Batman vs Superman. They were expecting Justice League, which, let's be honest, Justice League is very bright.
They were expecting some explosions.
They were expecting
a bit of Heath Ledger, and a bit of Jack Nick maybe.
They were expecting Endgame. They were expecting any Marvel movie. They were expecting a comic book movie that is being made in the last decade. That's what they were expecting. I
think, you know what? I think this is maybe why, or part of the reason why it has become like so popular, is that it's not a bunch of flying guys and explosions and all that. It's that it's a bloody cerebral, dark as fuck comic book movie.
It's a comic book movie that people who would normally watch event films like your Titanics, your Bravehearts, they would go out and they would watch like your more upscale movies. They're going to turn around and say, "I'm not going to watch Iron Man because that's a comic book movie." I probably would say the same thing about Batman. I'm not going to watch Batman. It's a comic book movie. But when you watch that trailer, it's like it's a fucking Martin Scorsese movie. And I kept saying that. It invoked that. And when you watch the movie, it's very much pulling from two of Martin Scorsese's like biggest films, Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. It basically is those two movies melded into a fucking Joker movie. I think you're right. I think that's why people are taken to it, and that's why people feel like we need to see this one. It's when The Dark Knight came out, or when Batman Begins came out, This is a completely different type of comic book movie to what we've been watching for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, there's no bat nipples.
There's no bat nips. But like you say, there's no suits. There's no like flying around.
No.
You could have went into Batman Begins the first time and not known that was a Batman movie until 45, 50 minutes in.
I think I said that to you in the car on the way home. It didn't actually need to be.
Oh no, it doesn't.
A movie about the Joker.
They could have called that movie like Arthur.
A movie about any guy who is torn down. Like everything in his life is torn down, and he goes a bit fucking loopy. It's more than a bit loopy.
It's literally, it's pulled straight from the headlines. Like it's set in the 80s, but it's 100% pulled from today's headlines. It's about a broken man in a broken society where everything's just fucked. Like, everything's fucked from the top to the bottom. Like, the rich don't give a shit about the little guy. The little guy are constantly looking for the rich to help them. It ain't gonna happen. The city's fucking tearing itself apart from the inside. And it just so happens that it's Gotham City.
Yeah.
You know, it just so happens that the rich is Thomas Wayne. You know, it just so happens. But it could easily have been called Arthur or Fleck or anything. It didn't have to be called Joker because it's technically not about him. I mean, it is, but technically it isn't. It's a fucking great movie, man. It has knocked me for six because I genuinely thought I was going to go into that movie. I had a little bit of hope going in that I was going to walk out feeling like I did when I walked out The Dark Knight. Feeling like I did when I walked out The Winter Soldier. You know, movies set in amongst these franchises that just fucking subvert every expectation you have in a good way, not like Game of Thrones way, but in a really good way. And they just subvert everything and you walk out thinking, I just saw something there. Like, I really just saw something there. And my comic book movie viewing is never going to be the same again.
I feel like we're going to be comparing movies to it.
Yeah. Real movies as well. Not comic book movies, but fucking real movies.
So let's talk about Joaquin Phoenix then.
Yeah. Let's get into, because he's the star of the show. He's 99% of the movie. He's in it, if not 99.9% of the movie. He's in it the whole time. It's told from his point of view. He was, for me, the biggest worry of this movie.
Yeah.
How did you feel about him?
I was the same going in. I've never like disputed that the guy can act. Going into this, I felt like he was probably a little bit overrated.
Yeah.
But from scene one, minute one, I was in.
Let's talk about that trailer. Like, you're saying, like, scene one you're in. And scene one is when he's doing the thing with his mouth, which is in the trailer. I would say about 90% of the trailer is the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie.
Also good.
It's excellent. Because it really kind of... Once I'd seen the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, well, I've seen the trailer now. What have they got left to show me? You know? And the answer was a whole bunch. But yeah, again, Joaquin.
I wouldn't say like worried or anything because again, I knew that the guy could act, but he clearly like poured his entire soul into bringing the Joker to life, and he succeeded. 100% he succeeded. So as Kev said, where the first scene is he sat in front of the mirror. He is like a professional clown.
Yeah.
He goes around, selling golf goods with the fucking spinny sign, and hospitals and all that, which is fucking great. And so he's sat in front of the mirror and he puts his fingers in his mouth and makes himself smile so hard that he cries, or that like tears are falling down his face, and yeah,
fucking word
Jesus
one,
Christ.
Word one, scene one.
Yeah,
instantly you you have the radio telling you about sanitation problems in the city, like the nicknamed like super rats in the city and everything, and you realise that like the city is fucked, and you feel his pain in the very first scene of this movie. And then it doesn't let up for 1 second.
It doesn't let up. No.
Like you don't get eased into this film. You just kind of get thrown straight in. Here's this guy, and in the first scene, he's fucking crying.
Yeah.
He's making himself
Here's this
cry.
guy. He's a bit fucked up. His life is shit. Enjoy.
Aye. And by the way, we're going to show you why his life's shit, and we're going to show you, we're going to show you the slow, not even the slow, we're going to show you the decay of his mental state to the point where he feels like there's nothing else he can do, and the only way he can ever leave any sort of impression is by snapping. And he fucking does snap.
So he has a pretty shit life. He has this professional clown job, and one of the earliest scenes in the film, he is doing his spinny sign thing for, I forget what the name of the company was, but he's a bunch of little arseholes steal the sign.
Yeah.
He chases after them because he doesn't want to let his sign go, because the money's, as we find out later on, the money is going to be taken out of his wages if he doesn't get the sign back. So he chases after them. He gets beaten up to fuck, which happens quite a few times in the film.
Yeah, running theme.
And then so he goes home. He lives with his mother, who is not entirely there as well.
She ain't all there, is she? Frances Conroy.
Yeah.
Big shout out to her, because it's not the biggest role, it's not the meatiest role, but she does a great job with it.
So she's pretty much obsessed with Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
Who she is convinced is going to save them.
He's going to save the city.
He's going to save the city.
But more so them.
And more them.
Yeah.
If he finds out how they're living, he'll save them, kind of thing. And so he takes care of his mother, who's very ill. She's kind of not really able physically or mentally. So he takes care of her. And that's the guy's life at the start.
Yeah, he sort of just fantasizes about being a stand-up comedian at some point. Like he's gonna make it. He's the one that's gonna pull them out of the cesspit that they're in. But he's not sure how. Well, he is. He wants to become like a famous.
He wants to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And he's kind of working on his stand-up comedy at night, making jokes and all
but
that.
It ain't working.
So where do we go from there? So he goes to his therapist.
Yeah, so he's got like a therapist that he goes to see. Obviously, you alluded to that in the past. He's spent time in the asylum, which we assume is Arkham Asylum. We even get a little flash of that when he's banging his head off the door.
Mm-hmm.
And she's sort of like, she's there, the therapist is there, but she's not there. And by that I mean she's just like everyone else in the world, sort of like she has her own shit to deal with. So while he wants her to be in the moment and listening to everything he says, she's kind of just not.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Well, basically he's getting it for, well, not free, but on insurance. So she's got, like Kev said, she's got her own shit to deal with.
Yeah.
She's just letting him talk away.
Yeah, and he even says a couple of things during these meetings that she doesn't pick up on. And these are like key things that not even if she'd picked up on, but if somebody had picked up on, Arthur might not go down this road. That because he pretty much asks for help in many, many different situations in this movie. Many different times. He goes to many different people. And he basically is asking for help.
Well, there's maybe not the final straw, but one of the final straws is the final time that he meets her, and she says that our funding has been cut by the city.
Yeah, fuck, man.
You're on your own. he says, "So what about my medication? How do I get my medication?" And she just goes, "I'm sorry."
Yeah. Because
there is no more medication.
It's the world we live in. it's the world he's in. It's, you know.
It kind of feels like that's a ball here away from 10 minutes from what we're getting with the NHS.
Pretty much.
Like you say, that's straight from the newspapers.
But that's what I mean about this film, and I think that's why a lot of people, when they say that they are uneasy about this film or it's unnerving them, is because we're not a million miles away from it. Okay, we're not there. We're not there yet, but we ain't that far away from where this film led us to, and we don't live in Gotham, but we live in another fucking version of it. You know, a shitter version of it, I think. But, you know, it's... So,
At
yeah.
least you might get Batman.
You might get Batman. I would take Batman. I would take it.
So he goes back to his job after that, and then we get a scene that has still stuck with me. And I mentioned it a few times on Saturday night after we left the cinema on the way home.
This is the one about the sign.
Where, so he gets called into the office. He's been chatting with all his other clown buddies. One of them is a fucking snake in the grass who will get his comeuppance. There's a little midget fella who's just awesome. But he gets called into his boss's office, and his boss says, if you don't return the sign, which was stolen and broken, I'm going to take it out of your wages. And this really, really, you know, we spoke about how people are not like feeling comfortable watching the movie.
Yeah.
This
You're
moment.
You're not supposed to feel comfortable.
I know that.
By the way.
This little moment fucking really put me on edge.
When the camera's sort of
the boss is speaking
locked
at
on
him,
his face, yeah.
And Arthur is just smiling.
And his
face is not moving. His eyes are not twitching. He's just smiling at his boss, and the camera slowly closes in on his face. This really, really put my hairs on end. It really made me uncomfortable.
I think as well the thing about that is like as the voice, the boss, like you say, he's talking to him, as it's going quiet, and the score is coming up. Which, by the way, the original music, the score for this film is fucking gorgeous throughout. Like,
100%.
It tells more of the story than the story tells. If you just listen to the music, it's fucking gorgeous. You get some like popular reference songs as well. Not many, but there's a couple in there. One of them I would like to pick up on later because people are losing their shit about this as well. But if you just listen to the score of that movie, it's telling the story long before the story's telling the story. It's just gorgeous. But like I say, like as the music's going down, as the music's coming up and his voice is getting lower, he's basically saying to him, like, people in the office are weirded out by you, think you're a freak, think you're like an idiot, and think you're like you're a retard and stuff like that. And he's just smiling. It's like a half crooked smile, but he's just smiling, and it is nerve wracking. I know what you mean with that scene. It's a great scene. And one of the things I want to pull up on that, and it's a good scene to jump in on for that, is because 2 seconds before we get our first proper sense of his laugh.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Joaquin Phoenix's laugh in this movie, because I love the way he went with this. Like, Jokers of the past, it's been like a maniacal laugh. When he's very much having fun and he's very much in the moment and he's being all theatrical. Mark Hamill plays it as a theatrical laugh. Joker, Heath Ledger kind of played it as like a little bit more of an uneasy sort of like chaotic laugh, but Arthur literally cannot help but laugh. It's an affliction that he has from years of abuse and things like that. I love the way they went with this.
Yeah.
And it's an actual thing. Like, this thing actually exists. There are people out there who can't stop themselves from laughing. So it's like whether he's stressed, whether he's nervous, whether he's happy, whether he's angry, full of rage, full of joy, it doesn't matter. He just laughs. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. And it just makes everything that little bit more menacing.
Yeah, the fact that it's involuntary. And the way that scene plays out as well is the sort of the big guy who's given him the gun, by the way.
Yeah.
For defense, and he will eventually rat him out to the boss for it. But the way he leaves the room, the dressing room type thing, where he's laughing at the big guy's joke at the midget fella.
Yeah.
And he's laughing, and then he just stops.
Instantly stops.
Yeah.
I think that's the one time in the movie that laugh isn't involuntary. I think he does that on purpose.
But the way he does it, you can actually tell where it's a fake laugh and it's involuntary.
Yeah. I just, oh man, like, because there's a scene later on as well, and the thing that I love about this as well is that Joaquin Phoenix just goes so in on this character, and he goes so in on this laugh and getting this laugh right, that he does it to the point where it's hurting. Like, you see Arthur visibly trying to stop himself, but when he tries to stop himself, it hurts. It's actually painful for Arthur to laugh, which, you know, again, just adds another layer to the fucking sadness of this guy. The pain he actually goes through, because even laughing hurts him. You know, it's mental. I think that's what makes a lot of these scenes, though, that little bit more uneasy, because the subway scene, I'll jump ahead a little bit. The subway scene where he commits his first murders. So there's 3 Wall Street bankers, or 3 big-time bankers, and they're kind of like trying to provoke a young lady on the train kind of thing, and they're just being general dickheads. They're just being douchebags. And Arthur's down the other side of the carriage and just starts laughing because he can't stop it. But the thing about this scene is, like, you've got the guy coming over and he's singing the Send in the Clown song, which is just eerie as shit, but it just works. He's laughing and laughing and laughing. And with this scene and every other scene when Arthur laughs, I genuinely had no idea what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd seen it in the trailers. I'd seen a little clip of that scene, how he gets a bit of a beat down. And I believe you on one of the podcasts, you were like, 100% those guys are dead. 100%, that's like one of the first killings he makes. And it is one of the first killings he makes. But legitimately, in those scenes when he's laughing like a fucking, just a maniac and he can't control it, the reason you're so uneasy is because you don't know where it's going to go. Are these guys going to feel pity for him? Or are they going to smash him in the face?
But that moment, that scene in the movie, but at this point he's had the gun on him.
Yeah.
He was doing a gig in a hospital. The gun falls out of his pocket, which, by the way, was funny as fuck.
Funny as fuck, but also like, ooh.
Just the way he does a Homer Simpson scream.
Yeah.
So he gets he gets sacked, and then this is what leads us to the moment on the train. But the bit where the 3 guys are sort of surrounding him, and one of them is like right over his shoulder, and he's the guy singing "Send in the Clown," as you say, and the guy that's over his shoulder is like sort of screaming in his ear, and it's like something. Honestly, it's like something straight out of a Batman comic book or something.
It's the way the lights in the subway are going off and on and off and on and off and on and off and on. He's got like the green wig on, and it's just like, shit. This is fucking like Warriors is one of my favorite movies out there from the 80s. Fucking love the Warriors. Any movie that involves the subway, I just think of the Warriors. But this screamed the Warriors. Like, the way they shot it, the way they filmed it was just gorgeous. Again, pick any Martin Scorsese movie from the 80s. There's a scene like that in there. It is visceral as fuck. I loved it. But again, it is 100% ripped from the page. There's gotta be a Batman story where that is ripped from the page. Maybe not. Maybe it's 100% original, but it feels like something we've seen.
And well, that's why it's a Joker movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, he commits 3 murders.
2 of them self-defense. 2 of them completely, almost involuntary self-defense. 2 of them are. Two of them I would say are. The third one, he 100% chases him down and murders him in cold blood, which proceeds to one of my favorite scenes in the movie, is when he's running away. And by the way, quick shout out to Joaquin Phoenix's run, because that is one hell of a run. Just always looks like he's wearing clown shoes. Just runs like a maniac. Just everything. Just his run's fantastic. But he ends up in when he's running.
Not as good as the run in Homeless Ashes.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But so he runs away. He's looking for somewhere to hide. He ends up in a rundown bathroom in the middle of Gotham. No other way to describe it. And
starts doing yoga.
It's like yoga, like Tai Chi, sort of finding his center. Because at this point of the movie, he's very much on kilter, if you know what I mean. Like, he's just committed his first murder, and it feels pretty fucking good to him. But he kind of doesn't know. Like, I don't feel like he really knows what to make of it just yet. And he just starts doing this just amazing little dance.
He's a good dancer.
He's a fucking great dancer. He's no Sam Rockwell.
No.
I said that in the car. I said he's no Sam Rockwell. And we will get to my all-time favourite scene of this movie, which, contains a bit of a dance. But he's a great dancer, and he does it really well. And that's sort of like Arthur he's realising who he could be at that point. And he's starting to find a little bit of balance between the mental and the non-mental, but mostly the mental.
Mostly the mental.
And
so the city at that point is kind of really starting to come apart.
Yeah. The rats are taking over. The super rats. Thomas Wayne calls everyone a fucking clown.
Thomas Wayne
Thomas Wayne's a douche.
Well, yeah, but again, straight from the headlines. But
also, you called it. I didn't know this, but after we watched the movie and you made your little comment in the car, I went and had a little look, and it turns out first choice pick for Thomas Wayne, Alec Baldwin. Yeah.
Why the fuck would you turn that down?
He was 10 minutes away from being in it, but apparently he does a character on SNL that he thought was too
fuck SNL.
I know. He thought it was too close to Thomas Wayne. I don't know what the official story is on that, but supposedly he was first choice.
Shit.
And you called it.
Yeah, I did.
And he would have been great.
There you go.
I do think Brett Cullen did a good job.
Oh, he did a good job, but it should have been Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
So Thomas Wayne is called all the poor people, all the uppity poor people clowns.
Yeah.
And so the news breaks about this killer clown that's going about killing the rich white boys, and the city erupts.
Yeah.
It's like V for Vendetta.
We haven't. Ooh. Very nice. It is like V for Vendetta, isn't it?
The clowns are coming to life. The clowns are taking over.
I like that. Hadn't thought about that.
Neither did I until just now.
Yeah,
well.
that's a very good call. So we'll throw that into the melting pot of movies that this thing just rips off. Straight up rips off.
Yeah, so the clowns are taking over. The people are sort of rising up, and they're dressing up as clowns, and they're doing protests against or protests outside. They've got a big museum party, and they've got a Charlie Chaplin fucking showing.
Yeah, that's a straight.
That's way later on, by the way.
That's a straight reference to a theme of the movie. I can't remember what it's called. It's called Modern Times or something, and it's all about Charlie Chaplin being a tramp and being run down. And I don't know anything about that film, so I'm not gonna pretend I do. Yeah. But it's a reference.
It's all a bit pretentious, but there you go. But yeah, so the city is coming apart basically at this point, or it's starting to. And so he's lost his job. He's committed his first murder. And where are we from there then?
It's round about here. Gig. It's round about here that two things start to happen. We begin to find out about a TV show, which is hosted by Robert De Niro. So we've already seen when he's watching the TV with his mum and Robert De Niro's late night TV show, which is basically a knock on Carson, because it's like the same curtains and everything like that. He's obsessed with this show with Robert De Niro because Robert De Niro is like a funny guy. He wants to be a stand-up comedian, so one day he hopes to be on the show, kind of like King of Comedy. This is where they're kind of ripping King of Comedy a little bit. I like to think, because De Niro was in that, and I like to think the character he played in that would probably have become the character in Joker. It's a nice little... It works. It works if you've seen King of Comedy. That's kind of where his story ends in that movie. Could easily be the starting point of this. So
I've never seen that.
He wants to be on the show so much that he fantasizes in one part of the movie about being on the show. He's in the audience. De Niro cracks a joke. He laughs. De Niro hears the laugh and is instantly smitten with Arthur and brings him down onto the stage, whispers in his ear that he's the son he wished he had, and everybody in the crowd loves him. But of course, it's a fantasy. The camera has gone into the TV. It's a fantasy moment. We know it's a fantasy moment. The movie tells us it's a fantasy moment, and it comes back out, and he's quietly happy because he got to be on the show. But as we will learn to find, that's because he wants to be on the show.
And that's just another moment of, oh, you poor bastard.
That is another moment of you poor bastard, because he fantasizes about shit like that. It's also around about here, just before he kills the guys on the subway, is he meets Zazie Beetz, who is Sophie, a girl who lives down the hall from him. He meets her in the lift in his apartment, and
Zazie
Beetz. It's Domino from Deadpool 2.
Oh, fucking hell! So it is.
That's who she was.
I did not pick up on that until just now.
Oh, that's a shame for you.
Is it?
No. So he meets this girl in the lift, and they share an extremely awkward sort of, but at the same time.
So the daughter's like, "Mummy," and she does the thing to her head, and then he takes it way too far.
It's awkward, but it's weirdly Arthur. Like I'm sitting there, and I was in the cinema. I was sitting there watching it. I'm going, yeah, that, you know what? He's a weird fucking dude. Like he's clearly got problems. That's the only way he can really, like, he think she did it and she smiled when she did it, so it's funny. So he just thinks he's going to do it back. Okay, he goes a bit extreme with it, and it's like he overacts. But they share this moment, and then, as you say, he gets his first stand-up gig not long after having killed the guys on the subway, which is Pogo's. It's a comedy club where he's already been, but he always laughs at the wrong moment.
Yeah, that way was great.
That's great, aye. Just another...
The guy's doing some really, really, really shit stand-up.
It's just another showing of how disconnected he is, though, from everything.
And it was another bit of the difference between the involuntary laugh and the fake laugh.
Yeah.
Where, you know, the guy was just saying the build-up, and he was going, ah! And that was a beautiful little moment.
But even his joke book, because he has a joke book throughout the movie, when you get to see little bits of his jokes, they genuinely are lead up. There's very few punchlines in his joke books. It's all the lead up, and then the punchline is like an anti joke. It's like, oh yeah, he's dead. That's the fucking punchline, and it's like, that's not a punchline. But for Arthur, that's the funny thing, is the build.
Although the one that I thought of was the punchline was nobody's laughing now.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought that's the kind of shit you would fucking joke about. That's
the
kind of dad joke you would make.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So, he goes to Pogo's, and Zazie Beetz, Sophie, the girl he's met, comes with him to watch his stand-up. He has a really, really horrendous opening because he's so nervous,
that he laughs.
that the laugh's coming out, and he's basically spasming. And you know what pissed me off about that scene, and it's supposed to piss you off? People were legitimately laughing at him laughing. That fucking boiled me. But it's supposed to boil you. You're supposed to have that reaction because you know he can't stop it.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just another instance of, you've put yourself out there. You've actually put yourself up on that stage, and people are laughing when it's not meant to be funny. Dickheads. So yeah, just another sign of things to come. But it then sort of looks like it might be going well.
Yeah, he's on a hot date.
Yeah, he's on a hot date with Sophie, and they sort of see the newspaper stand with like things about the clown, and she believes in what the clown's doing.
Yeah,
she agrees with it.
Hero.
Yeah, she thinks he's a hero. So he's like, "Oh man, this is going well." And this is all kind of like tied in around about when he does his first killing and everything, because he ends up having the sexy time with her. After he kills the subway guys, isn't it?
Yes.
He goes back to her room and just straight up bones.
After he's done the yoga.
After he's done the yoga.
Yeah. You need some yoga first.
You got to center yourself before you go for the sexy time.
Yeah.
So that's what he does. And it's it's roundabout here as well that we find out that the show went pretty well. So this is roughly when he gets the letter, when he reads his mum's letter.
Yes. So she has fallen asleep. I actually thought she was dead.
He so did that for a moment.
But he carries her through to the bedroom. Are they sharing a bed, by the way?
I got the impression they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just one double bed in the place.
Creepy.
Huh. But Norman Batesy.
Oh yeah. Another movie. This movie rips.
But she has written a letter to Thomas Wayne, and he decides to open said letter, and so we, the viewers, see references to Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
And that Thomas Wayne is Arthur's father.
Yeah. Dun dun dun. Which was a theory. I'd seen this going in long before I went in, that they were going to play with the idea of the Joker being Thomas Wayne's son, which I didn't really like get on board with. But
I was sat in the cinema going, "Don't do that! Please don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! I don't need that."
They didn't need to go there, and as we find out in a little moment, they didn't go there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's the beauty of this film.
I was very pleased.
Yeah. So his mum is just as mental as he is.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been told this all the way through by some of the ways she acts, by the way she goes on about Thomas Wayne and everything. And we get to the point where he reads this letter and he kind of just goes batshit on her. He just starts losing the head and like, is this true? Is this true? And of course, like any reasonable person, he's going to go and find out.
Yeah.
And then we get
but
this.
It's I thought it was a very nice. Honestly, I was sat thinking, don't do this. Please don't do that in this movie. I don't need the Joker to be related to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But the way they did it, it was a very nice, slow build to what we eventually find out. But it begins from her going, basically fucking devil's advocate. He was a waiter in a fucking restaurant kind of thing. To, he goes to see Bruce Wayne, and
he goes to Wayne Manor.
He meets Alfred.
Alfred, yeah.
Yeah. What did we think of Alfred?
I was alright with it. Like, I kind of wanted Alfred to be somebody. Like, I wanted him to be someone. We didn't get that. We've had Sean Pertwee play him. We've had Jeremy Irons play him. We've had Michael Caine play him. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to have somebody we know, a nice Brit.
I feel like it's Alfred that needs to be someone, but there you go.
I'm fine with it because at the end of the day, it doesn't really pay any sort of.
I don't think this movie needs that.
No.
But yeah, so like I say, it's a nice slow build. So he goes there, he kind of puts his hands on Bruce Wayne's head at one point, which is a little bit fucking creepy.
He does the mouth thing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does the mouth.
And Alfred confronts him and he goes, I'm Thomas Wayne's son. And Alfred says, no, your mother was mental.
But he knows straight away. He knows straight away. He's like, oh my God, you're her son.
But at the same time, it's still up in the air. Like, is it true? Is it not? Is it true? Is it not?
Yeah.
So it kind of it plods along from there because we're still developing the city on fire kind of storyline. we're leading up to the big Charlie Chaplin show. Bruce Wayne is going to be there.
Big part of the movie.
Arthur decides he needs to be there to confront Bruce Wayne.
Thomas
Wayne, sorry. Yeah. And that's what he does.
Quite easily, I'll add.
Very, very easily. He sneaks underneath a barrier.
So he goes to the big Charlie Chaplin show. They're showing the movie Modern Times, which, if you get that reference, fair play. It's supposed to be something to do with the theme. I don't know.
But they are in hysterics.
But when they get there, the city is very much in chaos. People are like revering the clown. People are donning the clown mask. There's lots of imagery of this. There's the rioting outside the Wayne Hall to try and get in to take down the rich. And he's able to sneak in through the side. He dresses up as a bellboy, which I just loved. You get another little cheeky couple of seconds dancing. It's more just a shoulder dance, though he doesn't do a full thing. And then Thomas Wayne goes to the toilet, and he's like, "That's where I'll confront him." In the lavvy, because that's where you confront everyone.
Yeah.
And we get told here that, and I don't 100% buy Thomas Wayne at this part, but he basically knows straight away what Arthur's on about and tells him that his mother is an absolute nut job.
See, I was still on the fence of whether it was true or not.
Yeah.
At this point. Because it was pretty much, well, yeah, he's going to say that. Of course he's going to say, they fucked her. You fucked her.
Oh, he fucked her.
Fuck you. You're not Alec Baldwin.
But then he... So full disclosure, this is pretty much when the movie fucking destroys me. It's like the coming 10, 15 minutes. Because this is the scene where Thomas Wayne tells him that she's not actually his mum. He's adopted. And again, you're kind of sitting there and you're like, what the fuck? Like, is he telling him this? And this is just another way that the city tells Arthur Fleck to fuck you? Like, is this just another thing that's going to, like, destroy him? Is this another thing that's going to lead him down the path? And obviously, like, it does. So he ends up going, is it roundabout here that he goes to Arkham?
It's pretty much straight after.
It's pretty much straight after because
his mother has had a stroke because the detectives are investigating the murders on the train.
Yeah, but he finds that out when he gets back that she's had the stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes to Arkham, and I hated this scene. I loved this scene. The scene was fucking gorgeous. It looked amazing. It was filmed really well. You got one of the biggest bits of Arthur's backstory that you're going to get in this entire movie, and it's fucking horrendous. And I'm not afraid to say, I'm not too much of a man to say, yeah, I was sat in the cinema, I had a tear in my eye, it hit me where I live. It was just heartbreaking. And anybody who went into this movie and was still pissed off at violence or the fact that they were poking the finger at this or that or this, watch that scene, because that scene's incredible. Joaquin's incredible in that scene. It's filmed delicate as fuck. Like, they're giving you something there that is going to define this character going forward. And it's heartbreaking. For me, it was heartbreaking. And I think there was a few other people, because the entire cinema was quiet. Like,
oh, the movie going on?
Well, yeah, but everything was quiet at that point because you were getting like a big bit of information. Except for like, what the fuck, you fucking dickheads!
Mommy!
But it did. Fuck you. I'm fuck you. It did.
I knew that was gonna get to you.
It affected me.
I knew it was. I was going to give you a cuddle, but then I thought it may have looked wrong.
It would have looked wrong.
Yeah.
But to be fair, from that moment on in this movie is just the rapid decline, and nothing gets better after this. It's the most draining, soul-destroying 30 to 35, 40 minutes of a movie that I've ever seen, because I was already down in the gutter. Like, you have taken this man to the bottom of his life, and you know what? You fucking took me with him. But I ain't going to go out and shoot anyone, so that's all good.
That's always a plus, Kevin. That's always a plus.
But yeah, it's a horrendous scene. You get told a little bit about his past. It explains the laugh, because you realise that as a child he was beaten by not only his mum but also his stepfather or his adopted father.
Chained to a radiator.
Chained to radiators.
And then the mother goes, he was always such a happy child.
Yeah, she calls him happy all the way through the movie. Fucking cow. I hate her. And so you get all that. You get that bit of backstory, and it explains the condition that he has with the spontaneous laughing, that he can't really control it. It's like head trauma kind of thing, and it's just fucked him. And this is sort of the moment. This is what I loved about this movie, because going into this movie, I didn't want a Joker's origin. Never wanted that. Nobody wants that. The best thing about the Joker is the killing.
You don't know.
Is the killing joke.
Yeah.
I'm sure the last line of the killing joke is when he says if he has to have a backstory, he wants it to be multiple choice. So the thing about this movie is it can still be multiple choice.
Yeah.
Because we know he's called Arthur Fleck, but then we get told 3/4 of the way through the movie he isn't even Arthur Fleck. He's an adopted child. We don't know who the fuck he is. So effectively, we still don't have an origin story, so the comic book fanboys can be happy. But the people who do want an origin story, they can also be pretty fucking happy too. So it's a win-win.
That was a good little sort of thing that the movie did. Is it did that very, very well, and it also continued what we saw in The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Where the Joker just goes, you want to know how I got these scars?
Mm.
And he makes up a fucking story.
There's a very interesting, and we'll get to it later on. Put a pin in that. Yeah.
I did say to you when we were leaving, it's like Heath Ledger Begins.
Oh, yeah. And that leads into what I'm going to tell you later. But this all happens. We get this big moment where it's the beginning of the end for Arthur. It's pretty much the beginning of the end. And he goes home, and it turns out his mum's had some sort of a stroke, which is brought on by the police interviewing her about the subway attacks. He's very fucking confident in that scene.
Is this outside the hospital?
Yeah. I don't know if it's just sort of like... That scene, I think it contradicts a lot of Arthur, like, throughout the movie, because in this scene, he's just had this big, like, life-changing moment where he's like, holy shit, nothing that I think was real is actually real. What the fuck is going on with my life? And then he's being interrogated by the police outside the hospital, and he's so fucking confident.
It was the way he kind of, like,
flicks the
cigarette before he walks into the glass.
And we only see him do that cigarette flick one more time in the movie, and it is when he's full Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Full Joker. So I don't know if it's like he's embracing it at that point, but it feels like it's maybe happening a little bit too early when I look back at it. Because at the time I just thought, oh, fuck you, tell them police to fuck off, yeah, man. And then, like you say, he turns around and walks into the door. Because we have to remember, the director Todd Phillips comes from comedy. You know, it's his bread and butter. So every now and then he is able to throw a little bit of comedy at you and you know, just break the tension. So he goes in and he sees his mum. She's all fucked up on the bed, and Zazie Beetz is there. And sort of another moment that I just felt a little bit weird for me, but I was still buying it. And the only reason I'm mentioning it is because we're gonna do the reveal in a minute. But it's at this moment as well that Robert De Niro is on the TV and shows the clip. And of course, this time when you get the clip, that beautiful music isn't there. So it's not drowning out anything. And you kind of get a glimpse of how bad that set actually went. Because he's like, well, nobody's laughing now. And then it comes back and De Niro's like, no kidding, pal. Mm-hmm. You know, so like it maybe didn't go as well as we thought it did.
And we also get him being called Joker.
Yeah, he calls him Joker. Who is this Joker? Yeah. That's going to come back and bite you in the ass. So that happens. And then where do we go from there? It's sort of like the transformation starts to happen, really.
Yeah, so, well, we get the big reveal. He kills his mother.
Yeah, it's not...
And then he goes to her apartment. Because
Yes.
when he goes to her apartment and says it's been a bad day, and he's sat on the sofa, and she goes, "Oh, you're Arthur, right?"
Yeah. So you get that. There's a bit in between that. What am I missing? There's a bit in between that. Probably just him sitting about the house, isn't it? Because
He says it's been a bad day.
Yeah, you get
So
that.
he's killed
scene.
his mother.
So we'll just go to there. We'll just go to there. There's the scene that I think finally tips him, and that's because you get a reveal that it turns out Sophie Zazie Beetz isn't actually real. Because you're right, he puts the pillow on his mum, kills his mum because she's still trying to. Well, she's not really trying to, but he's telling her that he knows Thomas Wayne isn't his dad. You get the line from the trailer when he's on about, I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now I know it's a fucking comedy. Which I didn't like the way he delivered that. I preferred it in the trailer when you didn't say fucking. Like, I like a good swear word. I love a swear word. If anybody listens to this podcast, they know I like a good swear word. But when he says that, I just preferred it in the trailer. I prefer, like, I used to think my life was a comedy, but now I know it's a tragedy. That, to me, is enough. And in the movie, he's like, but now I know it's a fucking comedy. And I'm just kind of like, didn't need it.
I didn't really pick up on that, to be honest.
It's okay. And then he suffocates her with the fucking pillow. The scene we're missing is when he gets in the fridge. Yeah. Because he does that. He gets in the fridge and then he gets the phone call to say he's going to be on the show. And then he goes to go and kill his mum.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, he kills his mum, and then he goes to Sophie's apartment after that, and he's walking through, and he's touching things, and he's touching everything.
And he sits down on the sofa.
And then she comes out.
And she's been putting the kid to bed, and she goes into the living room or whatever the Americans call it, and she just about shits herself.
Did you see this coming?
No.
They did this so well because they did it fantastically. And I think the reason it works so well is because she's barely in the movie. You know, you only get her for a little bit at a time. It's not like Fight Club when Brad Pitt's in the whole fucking movie, so you don't have a choice but to believe it's real. You don't have a choice to believe that Brad Pitt's actually there. In this movie, it's like the opposite. Because they use her so sparingly, you don't really have a chance to like sort of go, oh, she's not real. Because it's just every now and then she pops up. But you are left all the way through the movie thinking, this is a really weird relationship. You know, like this makes no fucking sense whatsoever. To the point where you're almost thinking, as a directorial choice or as a storytelling choice, this is a really fucking bad choice because this relationship makes no sense. Then you find out why. They drop the reveal.
Yeah, so the reveal is it was all in his head.
More unreliable storytelling from the main character.
Yeah.
Bastard.
I know, right? Yeah, so the relationship was all in his head, which I guess goes back to he's off his medication and all that kind of thing, and we just it's all downhill from there.
So if you're keeping track, he had a job, he lost his job. He had a mum, he's lost his mum.
He's killed his mum.
And he's killed his mum. He's now killing people on the sly.
And he also had a mum and found out it wasn't his mum.
Yeah, and she told him he had a dad, but it turned out it wasn't his dad. He had a girlfriend. He didn't have a girlfriend. Yeah, he's got a lot of things, but he doesn't have anything. And that's just like another thing with this movie is they just keep taking shit away from him and just stripping him of everything because they need him to become the Joker. You know, storytelling 101. But you know what I mean? Like, it just, there's nothing is real for this guy. Life has just been he's just been shat on from a great height. And the only thing that seems to be working for Arthur Fleck is the Joker, is the persona, is the clown. just become that. So he becomes that. And that's when you run into basically the end of the movie. He gets...
Well, we need to touch on...
Yeah.
The scene in the apartment.
Yes. Well, that is the run into the end.
This is directly before he goes to the studio, because he goes from there to the steps.
Directly before
where
my
he gets
absolute
some nice
favorite
dance
song.
moves. But so we get the big fat fella who fucked him over with the gun and everything.
Do you recognise him?
No.
He was the killer from True Detective Season 1. You know, on the lawnmower?
I'll take your word for it.
Sits on the lawnmower?
I never saw all of True Detective.
That was him. That was him.
Me. Is that the one with Colin Farrell?
No, it was the first series with McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Was he wearing a shirt?
No.
Bygones. So they come to the apartment to check on him because they've been getting questioned.
Yeah.
And, so Arthur stabs him the fuck in the eye.
He's going full Joker here. Like, the transformation is well and truly underway.
I love this.
I love this. I love this whole scene. And when I thought about it, like, after like a couple of days of processing, and I'm going through the movie, and I'm going through, like, particular scenes, and then I just remembered how fucking awesome this scene is. Starting from, like, they knock on the door. Well, before that, when he's putting the makeup on, and he's like on the tongue and everything, and he's just starting to get there. He's dyed his hair green. He's kind of like flicking his head around the bathroom, like with his little dance moves, and it's going everywhere. Just great imagery. And then they knock on the door, and I love the way. And I didn't actually think about it first time round. It was when we were like sort of coming home and all that, and I'm thinking about things and I'm processing it over the next couple of days. When he locks the door and he shuts the latch across, at that point, I genuinely think he's going to kill both these guys. Genuinely think he's going to do that. And I genuinely think he's about to play cat and mouse with the midget. I do. Because he knew, even if he was going to let the midget go, he's not getting out the door because he can't reach. Which just plays in. But then again, it's another sign of, let's just break up the tension a little bit because we're about to ramp it up. So, like, we're going to have a little sort of cheeky, funny scene and we'll get through it. But yeah, he stabs the living shit out of Roland.
Yes, he does.
And it's great.
And batters his fucking head off the wall.
Oh, the head off the wall. One too many times.
Yeah.
I'm all for the violence in this movie because it tells the story. But yeah, when he is smashing that guy's head off the wall, even I was kind of like, oh man, we're getting in some like American History X territory here. Like, come on, man, just calm down. Like, Jesus. But it's great. It's great.
And so he lets the midget fella go.
Yeah. Tells the midget that he was the only one who was ever nice to him.
Gives him a kiss in the head.
And do you not think that midget character... I'm sorry if midget's like offensive because I feel like I've said it about 20 times. But that character is just like... He's just like the embodiment of this whole movie. Like beating up on the little guy. Like, because the whole thing is like Arthur is one of the little people in the city and all this. And it's like the big guy's always ripping on them and taking them down. And all you really get throughout this movie is like midget humor. They're just constantly taking the piss out of him.
I sort of felt like the midget was us.
Yeah, we're definitely the midget.
And
the Joker lets us go.
Like the Joker lets us go. But not quite.
It gives us a pass.
Not quite though, because it's about to get fucking heavier.
Yeah, damn.
But I thought like the midget was us, where we're sort of actually feeling really bad for Arthur and all the fucking horrendous shit that he's going through, and the entire world is bloody taking the piss or laughing at him or fucking setting him up, or beating him up or whatever. And we're the midget. We're the ones that are feeling bad for this guy.
But we're also getting the same shit as he's getting. We're also being beat upon and torn upon, and so like we may feel bad for him, but We ain't going to go out and kill everyone.
And we're not tall enough to kill someone.
And we're not tall enough to kill someone. Yeah, that's it. That is exactly it.
Deep shit, Kev.
So anybody out there who thinks this movie is talking to the psychopaths, it clearly isn't, because we're all the midgets and we're not tall enough to kill people. That's a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I could sell that t-shirt.
Yep.
We are the midgets. Oranges.
Midget oranges.
And it's from here. And I'm gonna talk about it because when we first saw the trailer, when we first started seeing like bits of Joaquin Phoenix on those stairs, I said that's gonna be my favorite scene of this movie. And I didn't even know how long it was gonna last. There was a part of me that thought, it's probably gonna be like a 2-second thing. You get a good
it's good 2-3 minutes.
Good 2 or 3 minutes of Joaquin Phoenix dancing down the stairs outside his apartment. And the relevance of this, and I love this because all the way through this movie, all the way through it, you get scenes of Joaquin Phoenix walking up those stairs. The endless the endless struggle getting up these stairs as a broken man. And then as he becomes the Joker, it's like, fuck this, I'm dancing down those motherfuckers. It's like John Travolta at the end of Saturday Night Fever. What are you going to do? I'm going to strut. And he struts down that fucking street. So now we've got the Joker dancing his ass down those stairs. Love it. Just love it. Now, I'm going to mention it because a lot of people are talking about it and a lot of people are pissed off about it. The song over the top of that scene is a Gary Glitter song. And people are all pissed off because that means he gets money from royalties and whatnot.
Oh, get the fuck.
And all I'm really going to say is, fuck you, because it fits the scene and it's gorgeous. I just love it. People are up in arms and about it.
People are...
But what I like to say on things like that is, if you can't separate the music from the man, if you can't separate the movie from the actor, you're the one with the fucking problem, not me.
Yeah.
I genuinely love that scene. So there you go. So basically, he dances down the stairs because he's now in full Joker mode. Arthur Fleck is all but gone, and he is off to Murray's late night show because he's been invited to do a slot after the clip went viral. I'm sure they say viral, which is a weird thing because I don't think viral would have been a thing in the 80s.
Do they say viral?
They maybe didn't. They maybe just said people love it.
I don't think they said viral.
I'll go with people love it. So he goes to the show, and he's going to be doing a slot on the show, which is directly lifted from the comics. I think is it the Killing Joke? No, it's not the Killing Joke. The Last Laugh.
He doesn't go on a TV show on The Killing Joke.
There's a comic book. It might be year one. There's a comic book where the Joker goes on a TV chat show and he basically kills the entire audience. That's part of a comic book that they have done. So that's where that's coming from. But he ends up on the show, something he's always wanted to do. And slowly but surely, before he gets on, he begins to realize Robert De Niro, maybe his intentions aren't for Arthur's gain. They're not.
See, I didn't.
And the only reason
don't think that was given away.
The only reason I pick up on that is because they keep telling us in scenes before this, when he's rehearsing for the show and he's rehearsing his big joke and the punchline for the joke, which is he's going to kill himself on the show. He's got the gun to his throat. He does it in the changing room. When he's in the dressing room, he does it in there. He practices the joke again. But then when he sat outside and he sat behind the curtains and he's sitting smoking and Robert De Niro is kind of basically ripping on him a little bit, I think that's the moment he decided it wasn't going to go the way he'd been planning. I think that's the moment.
Yeah.
And then he does another amazing dance.
Well, this whole scene... I need to pee first.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're on the show.
Yeah, we're on the show. I mean, this whole fucking scene is just... I mean, the monologue, the bit leading up to the monologue, he's menacing as fuck. But at the start of the scene, So you said you were getting inklings that he wasn't going to go the way we thought?
I wasn't 100% certain, but when it's more when I look back in the cinema at the time, I 100% didn't know where it was going to go. I just had to rely on the fact that he'd been showing us that he was going to shoot himself. I had to rely on that. But then when he comes out and he's sort of uber massive confidence, he just oozes Joker, and he's just dancing around the stage, throws the cigarette again, the confidence, like the earlier scene with the police and all that. He's just dancing around,
kisses the old deer on the lips.
Kisses the old deer on the lips.
Good. That's fucking awesome when he does that.
And he sort of like sits down and he's almost flirting with Robert De Niro in a way. It's weird, but I love it.
I also love how he looks up his jokes.
Yeah.
In his diary and his mental health diary. I also loved from earlier on in the movie where he's sort of he sat like writing his jokes down, and I think it's the thing. What is it? The thing about having mental illness is everybody expects you to act like you don't.
Aye.
And it's no big secret. You and I are both dance with that particular fucking black dog, and I think that it's a pretty fucking poignant thing.
It's on the nose. It's 100%. It's again, it's another one of these things where throughout the movie, Arthur is he just needs someone to help. Especially in the earlier stages of the movie, he just needs help, and he's just looking for help, but nobody's helping him. And it's just everybody's just shitting on him. And if somebody took 10 seconds or 10 minutes to actually speak to him, if that therapist took 10 minutes to actually listen to what he was fucking saying to her, Joker might not actually happen.
We don't want that.
It'd be a shit movie.
But so he sits down and he starts talking away, and I mean Robert De Niro. We have to give fucking props to Robert De Niro because
100%.
He is fucking great. And so is Joaquin Phoenix in the scene. I mean, it's just incredible. He confesses to the murders of the 3 posh fuckers.
I love it when he says, "What's the punchline?" When he tells him that he confesses to the 3 guys, and Robert De Niro goes, "Okay then, what's the punchline?" And he's like, "No punchline." I just love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it is just full Joker.
And he keeps calling him Murray. He's not called him Murray. He keeps calling him Murray. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, but Murray," and it's like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Just awesome. Like, at this point, Arthur Fleck is gone.
Yeah,
he's no more.
It's all Joker.
He's just Joker.
The monologue.
About
the monologue is incredible.
If I was dead on the street, you just walk over me. Which again, apply that to today.
Yeah,
people would happily just walk past a dead person on the street. It is where we're at. It's fucking mental.
But yeah, that monologue is incredible.
And the last line of the show when he's telling the joke, and he's like, "What do you get when you leave a loner in a broken society, a broken man, a loner in a society like this? You get what you fucking deserve," and then just fucking shoots him. Which
yes, he does.
I've heard a lot of people saying that they saw that coming.
No.
Again,
no.
People may have seen that coming. People may have.
Aren't you fucking clever?
And that's fine. That's completely fine. I guess I kind of maybe felt a little bit like it might happen because, again, you just don't know what was going to happen. But when it happened, I was like, nah, I was not expecting that. And especially not the way it went down.
Well, I mean, the guy who was sat to the left of me...
Yeah, jumped up.
Just about jumped out of his chair.
I saw him.
That bit. Yeah. And... I really can't say anything else about that scene. Just fucking an amazing piece of cinema.
Well, it is an amazing piece of cinema. It's a fantastic piece of cinema, but I think we get a fucking... In years to come, people are gonna look at this final scene, and I think it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down in history. It's gonna go down as like cinematic masterpiece, if I have to say it. But when he stands on the police car at the end, unfucking believable. And this is a guy, Joaquin Phoenix. We know he can act. We might not be the biggest fans of him, but he can act. Fair enough. We might think he's pretty overhyped, but he can act. But Todd Phillips as a director, I've only ever seen the Hangover trilogy that he's done. I've only ever seen, was it Euro Trip way back in the day?
Never saw that.
I'm sure he did Starsky and Hutch with Ben Stiller back in the day. That to me does not scream, this is a director who can destroy me, for one, and impress the living fuck out of me for two. And he did both those things in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just the masterful way he treats this movie, and just like my hat's off to the guy. And if he doesn't win an Oscar for direction or best director, he should definitely be in the conversation.
He should be in the conversation.
He should be in the conversation. I'm not saying he should win it. I'm just saying he should be in there. Joaquin Phoenix, 100% has got to be in there. Should he win it? I don't know. I don't know. 100% he's got to be in that chat, though.
See, that's the thing. When it comes to the Joker, now everyone is comparing the performance to Heath Ledger.
That's not even a conversation, man.
But, with Jared Leto, people were going, no, fuck you, hashtag not my Joker and all that wank. With this performance, I think that it was suggested that it could be Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, they could.
In a way,
they sort of.
In a way,
I could see
there were sort of mannerisms and that kind of thing. I think, to me anyway, it might just be me. I don't know. There were mannerisms that it could be Heath Ledger's Joker, but not to the extent where it's a rip-off.
No,
he made the Joker role his own.
Yeah,
and I think that now that he's the one that could carry the role forward.
Yeah, I could see it being like a Heath Ledger Joker or Oranges. I could see that. I don't want to think of it like that.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying.
I know that's not what you're saying.
I just think that there were subtle similarities to Heath Ledger's Joker that were put in there that were not so apparent as to piss people off.
Yeah.
But they were there that made you go, huh.
I think he definitely would have looked at that, though. I think he definitely would have, wanted to pay some sort of respect to that Joker. So there will be stuff in there.
And because he is so fucking good and the performance is so fucking powerful, I don't think people who see this movie, going forward in whatever DC decides to do, that could go forward as the Joker.
I could definitely see that carried on. And Phoenix has said from the very start it was a one and done for him. He's not doing any more. But recently, in some interviews, he has actually come out and said that he and Todd Phillips have talked about what they can do going forward. Not necessarily with the Joker character, but they have also had those conversations. He just wants to work with him again. And if it could be the Joker and if the story was right, it sounds like he'd be up for it.
I want to see more of that Joker.
Definitely. I'd love to see a fully fledged version of him, and let's see what his fucking maniacal plan is.
Yeah.
Let's go down that road.
Love that Joker.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
So basically, after the show, he kills Robert De Niro live on air. And then he kind of walks up to the camera and he gives Robert De Niro's speech, kind of, hey, that's life. And then it cuts off. And Then it sort of shows you him in the back of a police car getting taken away, and the city is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker has started holy fucking hell in Gotham. Gotham is becoming the Gotham we all know and love, which is just a fucking shithole.
Yeah.
You know, and who's going to bring it back? Well, it certainly ain't going to be fucking Thomas Wayne, I'll tell you that much. Because one thing that I'm just going to say it, I didn't think I needed this. But actually, it's pretty cool to have it in there. We don't need to see Thomas and Martha Wayne die every single fucking time. But this is quite possibly, apart from the city of Gotham itself and 10-year-old Bruce Wayne, this is quite possibly the only scene that will link it in to the DCEU.
Yeah, I get that. I didn't need to see the pearls again.
But again, though, they didn't Zack Snyder it.
I did say to you when we left, they weren't as sexy as BVS.
They weren't as sexy as BVS,
No.
but they didn't Zack Snyder it, as in we're going to give it a 10-minute slow-motion glory shot, frame for fucking frame. We're going to copy the comic book. They went into Crime Alley, and by the way, they gave you a reason as to why the fucking Waynes were in Crime Alley, because that never sits well with the fans. Why the fuck are the Waynes in there anyway? Why are they going down an alley called Crime Alley? You know what I mean? Why are the Waynes, Gotham's elite, walking down this alley? Well, now we know, because they were escaping the riot.
Yeah, but the riot was already kind of in play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, why go watch a play?
Why would you fucking go out? And I think they were away seeing Mask of Zorro.
It was the Mask of Zorro of the Gay Blade, I think it was called.
The Gay Blade?
Because I had a little chuckle at myself because I'm immature. And it was called the Zorro of the Gay Blade or something like that. And the other movie that was shown was Excalibur, which in BVS it was called the Excalibur Theatre, which I loved. I was like, it's not the only connection though, because I'm about to blow your fucking mind in a minute.
Shit.
So anyway, they go into Crime Alley, and a man in a Joker mask says, "You get what you fucking deserve," and shoots them. You know, the line from the TV show. Joker is in the back of the police car, just basking in his fucking glory, which is a complete and utter sort of reversal from the very start of the movie, when he's a downtrodden fuck sitting on the bus looking out the window and just being depressed, and he's just like, you know. And then at the end of the movie, he's in a police car looking out at everything he's created and just happy as a pig and shit. Because even the copper says, "You happy with this? You glad?" And he's like, "It's beautiful." You know, he's happy. He is happy. The police car gets ran off the road by an ambulance. A bunch of Joker guys come out and they pull him out and they lay him on the police car. And of course, it's like a Christ-like figure, which is great. Yeah, we pretty much go from there that you get this amazing, sexy ass fucking shot when he sort of like, everyone's rioting around him and he stands up and does the
blood across the face into the smile.
Which, if you want to talk about Heath Ledger connotations, that's the one. That's the biggest one in the movie.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, as I was saying to you earlier, apparently, and I'm not 100% how true this is, but it's taken from an original screenplay that Todd Phillips wrote for the movie. In that scene, they're supposed to be earlier on when they're talking about the abuse that he had and everything. There was mention in that scene of his mum cutting his face.
Oh, right.
And there was mentions of that in that scene and it eventually got dropped because apparently Warner Brothers thought it was a bit too on the nose. Because at the end of the movie, when he gets up, instead of wiping the blood on his face and doing the mask, he picks up a bit of glass and cuts a smile. And Warner Brothers were basically like, yeah, that's straight up telling people that this is the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah.
And they thought it was way too on the nose.
It's way too on the nose.
So they cut that, and that's where the
call. And it's not very often I say that about Warner Brothers.
Exactly, man. When I read it, I was kind of like, very well played. Very well played. Mm-hmm. But again, maybe this is a sign of Warner Brothers being like, you know what? If we've got the right director and he's got the right story, have at it. Have at it. Because I'm pretty sure this movie wouldn't have cost a bomb to make. But it's making a fortune. So there you go. They'll be happy. They'll be happy with this.
I think they will be.
But that was apparently initially the ending was like he cuts his face into a smile, and then they changed it to wiping the blood, which I think is enough of a homage.
Yeah.
To the Ledger Joker.
We don't need him cutting his face.
No, because then that is literally saying this is Heath Ledger. Mm-hmm. That is literally saying that. And it's like, do you want to know how I got these scars? Well, now we fucking know he did it to himself. You know?
It wasn't your father, and it wasn't your wife, you lying bastard.
You lying prick. And then we get that. He's basking in his glory. And then we get a bit of a weird scene when he's it cuts to him being in Arkham Asylum. And he's being
so the therapist's back.
Yeah. Different woman. Looks very much like a different woman.
You call me a racist.
Wow. That's what you took from that. I was just calling you an idiot.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a different...
It's the same woman,
No, it's a different woman.
Oh, shit.
It does look a hell of a lot like her, but it's a different woman. But yeah, he's in the asylum, and she's talking to him, and he basically tells her that he's just thought of a joke. He has a little laugh to himself. Not a maniacal laugh. Not a fake laugh. It's a very, just going to have a laugh. And she says to him, what are you laughing at? And he's like, I just thought of a joke. She said, what was the joke? He says, you wouldn't get it. And we get a little flash to Bruce Wayne in Crime Alley above his mum and dad's parents, standing over his mum and dad. And I like to think that's what the joke was. Because he's inadvertently creating Batman. Maybe that's not it, but that's what I like to take from it. And he finds it funny. Instead of the fact that Batman tends to create him in every other iteration of this story. And that's pretty much where the movie ends. Yeah. He kind of walks down the alleyway, he walks down the corridor, he's leaving footprints all over the floor, and then he plays like a Tom...
he's killed her.
Yeah, he plays like a Tom and Jerry game with the orderlies chasing him fucking back and forth, or Scooby-Doo, whichever one. And then the credits come up, and it's pretty awesome.
That's it.
That is it.
Yeah.
Question. Did he kill Zazie Beetz? In your head, did he kill her?
No.
I like to think he did. But then I'm a sick fuck.
You are a sick fuck. No. No. I don't think he was there yet.
Right. So, there's a big theory out there. And I want to get your take on it. I don't think we've spoken about it yet. But there's a big theory out there that the reasoning and the reason behind that final scene when he's in Arkham Asylum is that none of it was actually real. And he made the whole thing up. And this was him telling her the story. What do you think of that? What's your take on the movie? Like, what's your take on, like, what happened, what didn't happen? Because a lot of people are saying it's kind of like that American Psycho ending, where you kind of have to just figure out what actually happened yourself. Because he is an unreliable narrator all the way through the movie. You find out that a lot of the things he thinks were real weren't. So what's your take on that? So you
think that, or the theory is that the entire movie is basically a 2-hour want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that seem to think that. It seems to be a theory out there.
I like that theory's there.
I don't mind the theory being there.
I like that the movie is so good that theory's there.
Mm-hmm. You know, from the guy that made The Hangover.
Yeah. The movie is so deep and the movie's got so many layers that people are saying, well, fuck me, what if the entire movie is him telling his therapist in the room a complete bullshit story? Why not? Like, I don't know. Why not? Like, if that's what you want the story to be, then make that your story.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it.
If that's what you pick up from the story, then fine.
I'm with you. People can believe that. I'm fine with that. Like you say, it is good that the movie is that led that you may come up with that. But I I just want it to be real. I want the whole thing to be real. I want it, like, because the movie, like, it does tell us, it does set up certain rules to itself, either knowingly or unknowingly, when it's sort of like he goes into the TV and then he comes out of the TV and it turns out that was just him fantasizing about being on the show. We knew that. The movie tells us that to confirm that.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing that Sophie is the dates that he goes on and the time he goes to her apartment and sleeps with her and all that, that's bullshit. We don't know that. The movie tells us that. So it's like, it feels to me like if the movie is gonna go down that road of what's real and not real, they set a precedent by telling us.
Yeah.
These things did happen, but not the way he said it. So she wasn't there. He wasn't on the show. But to me, everything else is real. And it did happen because at no point did they turn around and say, guess what? He never shot Murray in the head. Guess what? The riots never happened. Guess what? The Waynes never died. But they did tell you the Waynes died in that scene with the therapist when he's like, I just thought of a joke. So they do tell you that happened. It just feels like the movie would tell you.
Yeah, for me, what happened to this man that made him become the Joker in this movie is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I come at it from. Like, I just feel like they set up rules. They have to obey those rules.
But again, I think that if people are taking it as that, then let that be your version of the movie.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like when I was saying earlier about how people who don't want a Joker origins, they don't have one. People who do want one, they kind of do have one. You know, take the movie, and that's what's so fucking great about this movie. It's why I'm so shocked at how good this movie actually was. And I shouldn't be shocked. I shouldn't be. Like, these movies exist. I just wasn't expecting a Joker spin-off, a Batman spin-off, to be this deep. For a leading role, for the main role of the movie to be this good. For everyone, pretty much everyone in the movie putting in a good part. And I'm gonna say it again because I'm fucking impressed. The guy that made the fucking Hangover movies, that guy, and let's be honest, those films are shit. Some people like them. It's comedy. Some people get on with them.
I've seen the first one a couple of times. They're
not for me.
Nah, I wouldn't watch them again.
But dude, that guy made this movie, and I want to see if another movie comes out next year, 2 years time, that says directed by Todd Phillips. You are fucking damn right. I'm seeing that movie.
Well, you know, there you go. That's a plus.
Get him on fucking Joker 2. Just do Joker 2. Do a Riddler movie.
We'll get to that when we do our top 5 now in a minute.
So going forward, where do you want? What do you want to see DC do going forward?
I want to see more movies like that.
Yeah.
I want to see more standalone movies. I want to see Old Man Batman played by Michael the fuck Caine. Not Michael Caine. Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I'd watch Old Man Batman with Michael Caine.
I would watch that as well, but Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. One of the things I've mentioned to some of the lads that I work with, I'd love to see these standalone movies where the only real connecting tissue is Gotham City or Metropolis. Like, yeah. I could do with like that kind of thing. They don't have to connect.
But the thing is, they don't have to connect.
Yeah.
Which is why when they opened that letter and Thomas Wayne, your son Arthur, and I don't need that. I don't need everyone to be fucking related in the movies, and that goes into Star Wars and all that.
But they weren't
as well. I don't need that. We don't need that.
But dude, they weren't. Calm down.
I know.
He was an adopted child.
I am making a fucking point, twat. What I'm saying is that everyone who is going to go and see these movies, They know what Gotham City is.
Yeah.
They know what Batman is.
Yep.
And they fucking well now know what the Joker is. So just let people go and see a movie in the Batman universe. We don't have to have a fucking trilogy.
No.
We don't have to have a team-up movie with those explosions and fucking cave trolls going about all over the place.
Yeah.
We don't need that. Let it be the DC universe.
Is that a Doomsday reference?
Yes.
Fuck you.
Huh? It was it was a cave troll.
It wasn't.
It was a cave troll.
It wasn't.
Let it be the DC universe. Let them tell individual stories within the DC universe, and let Michael Keaton come back as Batman.
Got a hard on for Michael Keaton coming back as Batman.
Oh yeah,
I just got a hard on for Michael Keaton. Wait, so there's been a huge debate. There's been a huge chat, huge talk about the fact that this movie is inciting certain things amongst people. Where do you kind of fall on that?
Pesh, next.
Yeah. I was hoping that was going to be your answer. As I've said to a couple of people when I've been talking about this, and I had a little rant with someone on Facebook about it as well. To me, if people are, it says more about the person watching it than the actual movie itself to me. Because a movie doesn't talk you into doing this shit. A movie doesn't do that. I'm sorry. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna fucking do it. No two ways about it.
As a great man once said, movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
I like that. Who said that?
The guy at Scream.
Sweet.
Scoot Ulrich, I think.
And that movie was awesome, so it must be true.
Was it Scoot Ulrich?
Yeah, it was
the one who played Shaggy.
It was that one. No, that was Matt Lillard.
Oh, Matt Lillard, bygones. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Joker. Go out and fucking see it. I mean, you don't have to.
Can he beat a quote from Matt Lillard?
Zoinks. Yeah. So, the Joker movie, man. What do you think we're going to be talking about this movie in 5-10 years time?
Yes.
Do you think it's?
Yes, I do.
It's going to be up there.
We're going to be talking about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker like we talk about Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah. I think we're going to
100%.
we're going to be talking about this movie in the same vein as we talk about The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight changed comic book movies at the time, and now I hate to say it, but fucking Iron Man changed comic book movies when it first came out.
Iron Man changed comic book movies.
And then I think this movie's just once again changed comic book movies. I would love to see Marvel have a go at something like this.
Marvel kind of did.
When?
Logan.
Fuck Logan. Logan is a pile of pish. And you know it.
Logan is a pile of pish.
Logan is a pile of pish.
You're a pile of pish.
You are a pile of pish.
No, you're a pile of pish. Well,
So,
we do our top 5.
We will. Movie of the year?
I don't know. I need to have a think.
Mine's still Hobbs and Shaw.
Fuck me. I don't know. I still need to have a think.
Yeah, somebody did ask me that. Is this your movie of the year? And my first instinct was to go, oh, fuck yeah. But I kind of stopped myself and I was like, you know what? I need to look at what's been out this year.
Give me a minute. I can't answer that shit off the cuff.
Yeah, so we're going to go and do our top 5.
Yes, we are.
Which is Batman villains and, yeah.
Portrayals thereof.
So we'll get into that after a cheeky little promo.
Well, we do the what you been watching next time?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, dude.
No one wants to be here all night,
especially not me.
Nah. You're here all night.
We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute. But we wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake on this highly produced advertisement.
That's right. It's the History of Bad Ideas, a.k.a. Hobie. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast and on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. But if you like a podcast roundtable with 3 to 5 guests, usually every week, depending on sick leave, talking about all things geek, including movies, TV.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Blake bitching about something and ranting, and comic books and anything else that we can think of. We have a top 5 list every week. along with a box office news, and somehow we have listeners, so they send us some feedback we answer every week. You can find us on iTunes,
Stitcher,
Facebook,
Spotify,
and any good podcast app, because if you can't find us on that podcast app, it's not a good podcast app.
Damn straight. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Top 5 time. Top 5 time. Top 5 time. That is 100% the new theme tune of this episode.
No.
Not the episode, like this section. So yeah, in thingy of the Joker movie review, we decided we decided that we were going to do a top 5 villain portrayals. So obviously, if like 2 or 3 different actors have played the role, like we know we have had about 7 or 8 different Jokers now, we will pick our favorite portrayal of that character.
Yeah, I'm not going to go in any particular order here because I don't know which order to go in.
Okay.
Okay.
That's completely up to you.
That's very fine. Yeah.
So I'm going to let you go first because I haven't nailed my 5 down yet.
While we're in the Joker territory. Yep. Yeah. I've not gone Heath Ledger, and I've not gone Joaquin Phoenix. Sure, so I'm not gone Jared Leto.
Why the fuck not?
Jack Nick.
Oh, you've let me down there.
Why?
They're going to say Mark Hamill.
How dare you? Oh, well, Mark Hamill's a given.
So, okay.
When you fucking... What was the text I sent to you? When you came up with this idea for this top 5, I
you
said,
were like,
what's the fucking point of that? Because it's going to be Joker, Bane, or Catwoman, and all of them are going to be Mark Hamill. No, I've not gone with any fucking Mark Hamill because Batman 89 is one that is very, very nostalgic for me. Michael Keaton's Batman is the Batman for me still.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, Jack Nicholson's Joker is not taking anything away from Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix or Mark Hamill.
We should do that.
That is all.
We'll do that one day. We'll do we'll rank our Jokers. That would be a good. That'd be a good day.
Well, whatever happens, Jared Leto's going to be the bottom.
I think I might surprise you.
It's pretty much Jared Leto, Cesar Romero.
I can't believe you put Jared Leto below Cesar Romero.
Of course, Jared Leto's below Cesar Romero. Fuck off.
I don't know. I think I might surprise you.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, Jack Nicholson's Batman, fucking Joker. Yeah, it's Jack Nicholson.
It is Jack Nicholson. I'll give you that.
Perfect casting at the time. It's Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And he was at the height of his game at that point. Like he was a fucking mega star at that point.
Oh yeah.
And
see, that's the thing about that movie is, there were no superhero movies really at that point.
No.
Like Christopher Reeve's Superman had well gone by that point. There was no Spider-Man at that point. There was no Marvel MCU at that point. There was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tim Burton did Batman with Jack Nicholson.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And we didn't get nips.
I got hard nips.
Yeah.
Anyway.
My number 5, you went with Mr. J. So I'm going to go for his counterpart. 100% because I fucking love this woman. You know I love this woman. I have loved every single iteration. It's Harley Quinn. I love Harley Quinn to death. I have her on my back. She's just amazing. And I really, really, really wanted to go for the Tara Strong version. She did the voice in the games.
Right.
It's one of my favorite, she did the Arkham Asylum games. It's one of my favorite Harley Quinn voices, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I'm going for Margot Robbie.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just because Margot Robbie that is exactly what I want Harley Quinn to be. Just a dirty little skank.
Wow.
I do. I love Margot Robbie, and I know you're not keen on this Birds of Prey trailer. Every time I watch that trailer, and I've wanked over it a few times, I just can't help but just fall in love with that. I think that movie looks so much fun. It looks stupid as shit, and I can't wait for it.
I'm not discounting it.
No, I know you're not. I'm
not doing that. Just all I'm saying is that trailer did fucking nothing for me.
My only thing is, if at some point they do decide that Birds of Prey and this new Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie was to somehow coexist, I can't really see that Harley Quinn being with that Joker.
No, they don't need to be doing that.
I can't see it. They're not going to do that, and they shouldn't do that.
I don't think Joaquin Phoenix would sign on for that shit.
Well, that's the good thing about Joaquin Phoenix. That is the good thing about him, because he only picks shit that he likes. So if they were to turn around and turn in a good a terrible script, I'm pretty sure he'd just go pass. You know what? I got other things I can do.
Or a probably really, really shitty script and go pass.
Right. So.
Yeah. So. Okay. Next one. Fuck it. I'll go in order of this. Two-Face.
Which one?
Jesus. So, William Shatner.
What?
William Shatner played Two-Face
in the animated series.
In the animated movie, Batman vs. Two-Face.
I've not seen that.
The Adam West one.
Is that the one with Adam West and Burt Ward?
Yes.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
William Shatner.
And William Shatner.
And it's William Shatner.
It's William Shatner.
At the end of the day. So, you know.
If you can throw some Captain Kirk in your top 5, you might as well.
Can get anything.
Anything. Jerry Ryan's panties.
Jenny Ryan's panties. Catwoman's panties. 100%.
I love it.
You know what? Fuck it. It was the highlight of that movie. Like that one, they did the Return of the Caped Crusader. I think was the first one that they did.
That was the other one.
And then after that they did Batman vs. Two-Face. The first one was better. This one was still good because it was William the fuck Shatner playing Two-Face.
Yeah.
And fuck it. That's all you need to say. It's William Shatner.
That is all you need to say. I'll give you that. So, my number 4, and again, mine aren't in any particular order. I know that this TV show gets a ton of stick. I know it does. And I don't care about how much I love it. I really don't. But there's 2 characters in this TV show, and they're both on my list. I'm sorry, I've taken 2 from this show. But the first one is a kid called Corey Michael Smith, who plays the Riddler in Gotham. I'm sorry. Jim Carrey's good. The Riddler in the Gotham TV series is better. He is fan-fucking-tastic. I know people don't like Gotham, but I think if you just... Gotham's a weird one. Right? Because the show itself is shit. The show itself is terrible. The Villain of the Week episodes are terrible. The story around them, not very well written. But the characters and the people that play the characters are so fucking good. They should be in better things than this show, but they just happen to be in this show. The kid that plays the Riddler is awesome. The young lad that plays Bruce Wayne is actually pretty decent towards the end. I've spoken about Cameron Monaghan, who plays the Joker in the TV show, plays Jerome.
Yeah.
I fucking love the kid. Like, I wanted him on my list, but I decided I would go with no Jokers. He's fucking incredible in that TV show. He makes it everything that it is. But the way they portrayed the Riddler with Corey Michael Smith, the way he slow played the descent into just becoming a lunatic and just becoming the Riddler, and then you had the episodes where he was like a split personality. He is perfect. He's perfect in that role, and I think he shits all over Jim Carrey. So, yeah, the Riddler in Gotham.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to stick with the Riddler.
Oh, nice. Jim Carrey.
No. Because I don't think that, performance-wise, I don't personally think that we have had a Riddler that has topped this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's Frank Gorshin.
The original series.
Yeah.
Thought about it.
I don't think we have. I really don't think we have. And you know, you said like 10, 15 minutes ago, where do these movies go from here?
Yeah.
Give us a Riddler.
Oh yeah.
Give us a fucking Riddler.
I'm after a Riddler movie now.
You know, like, I don't think personally that, okay, so we've had fucking that Jim Carrey abomination.
I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was.
No. I think you're being unfair. It wasn't an abomination. It was a victim of the time it was made. It was a victim of Joel Schumacher. It was a victim of Jim Carrey being able to command fucking $20 million a movie, and basically just doing what he did in fucking Ace Ventura. Like, all they wanted was Ace Ventura in a Riddler outfit. That's all they wanted.
So it was an abomination.
And he gave that, and fair fucking play with him. He made $21 million dollars for that.
Well, fair play. He did learn to do the spinny thing with the stick.
He did. I saw
a video of that.
It was a treat.
Yep. It was worth $20 million.
And he says, somebody tell the fat lady she's on in 5.
And then he went, I am a god. I'm sorry, was that too much?
I am a god.
Abomination.
Okay, it was an abomination.
Frank Caution, I don't think the Riddler has been topped.
No, I'll give you, he's good. He is good. I was never a massive fan of the 66 Batman. It's just campy as fuck, isn't it?
Nothing wrong with that.
Again, a victim of its time. Well, not a victim, because it was perfect at the time. It was beautiful, but yeah. I'll give you that. He is good, but I just prefer this kid. I just think he's great.
Fair enough.
So
you go.
My next one. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go for my other Gotham. But the problem is I can't remember what the kid's name was. So 2 seconds. That was it. So, yeah, my other pick from Gotham is the guy that plays Penguin. Again, a very young version of the Penguin, a different version of the Penguin. Robin Lord Taylor. I just think he's fantastic. Again, it's just one of those things where the people in that show are too good to be in that show. Like, the actors in that show they shouldn't be in it. They should be in something way better. They just happen to be in this show. So the kid that plays the Penguin in Gotham, Robin Lord Taylor, I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. He's probably my Penguin, mostly because, and I think you'll have him on your list, he freaks me the fuck out with his little flipper hands.
Oh, no, I have not got him on my list.
Danny DeVito.
No, I do not have him on my list, but I do have a Penguin on my list.
Is it the
It's Burgess Meredith.
Who was he again?
The Penguin.
No, he was fucking Thingy and Rocky, wasn't he? He was Mickey. He was Mickey and Rocky. He's great in Rocky. Okay, that's something wrong with you. I know. But yeah, I love Robin Lord Taylor as Penguin. I think he's awesome. And to be fair, when it comes to Gotham, you can't really have Penguin without Riddler. They work so well together, as they have done in the comic books over the years, as they have done in other iterations over the years. They just always seem to work well together as a duo. So they work well together in the show as well. So I love it.
Yeah. Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
I know it's Batman 66 again. I don't give a flying fuck. Like, okay, not taking anything away from Tim Burton's Penguin or Danny DeVito.
I don't. You know what? I'm going to say it right now. I don't actually rate Batman Returns.
Batman 89 is better.
Mm-hmm. 1,000,000% better.
But no, I disagree.
See, when I think about Batman movies, I don't rate Batman Returns. I would watch pretty much any other Batman.
Oh, get the fuck!
I would.
You would watch fucking
Batman and Robin
Bat nipples
all day long.
Fuck off! Well, I disagree because of my number one, which you could probably guess what my number one is. But yeah, so Burgess Meredith from Batman 66,
yeah,
or the Adam West Batman TV series. You know, they made the characters their own. The fucking laugh is fucking class.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That was terrible. That was fucking terrible. But
wasn't great.
Wasn't great. No, I'm aware. I'm aware. Don't worry. I've had a cider. Yeah. I'm not saying he's my Penguin. Another actor could come along.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Maybe.
I don't think he'll play Penguin.
Probably not. And yeah, fuck you for saying that about Batman Returns.
I'm sorry. It's a personal opinion. I just feel like I would watch pretty much any other Batman above that one. You know what I mean?
No. What's your number one?
I still got to do my number two.
No, that was my number two.
Oh, sweet. That's okay then, 'cause I only had one more.
You went first, didn't you?
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I've had a drink. Anyway, my number one. If I couldn't have Joker, there's only one other person I was going to have. It's Tom Hardy's Bane.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, okay.
Tom Hardy's Bane, man. Like, there is only one other villain. And to be fair, it's only since Tom Hardy played him. But there's only one other villain I would probably put above Bane, and that is Joker. Like, I love the Joker, but I didn't want to pick one because, to be perfectly honest, there's been that many of them, and a lot of them are amazing, including Jared Leto. But I just couldn't pick the one that I would. We have to do that on an episode. We have to like rank all the Jokers. We have to do that at some point.
It's not going to be difficult.
Well, of course it is. The difficulty is, how high do you put Jared Leto?
Below Cesar Romero. We already covered this.
In the gutter.
He goes. Listeners, back me up here. Jared Leto goes fucking below Cesar Romero.
How though?
Because.
What? Because you didn't like him?
He was shite.
He was decent.
He was shite.
He was decent.
Cesar Romero was better.
Cesar Romero is great, and he would actually be quite high on my list. I still think
Mark Hamill at the top,
Jared
right?
Leto. No. I might surprise you.
Okay.
I might surprise you. So yeah, Tom Hardy's Bane. I know you're not a big fan of Dark Knight Rises.
I did try and watch it recently.
It's still better than Iron Man 3. But, and that is a fact, because I beat you twice on that argument.
No, you beat me once.
Twice, thank you. And so I would 100%. I love Tom Hardy as Bane. I love the voice. I love his mannerisms. I also just happen to love Tom Hardy.
Everybody loves Tom Hardy.
So that was it.
Yep.
So was that it for the top 5?
No, my number one.
Oh, fuck me. Go on then.
Well, it's Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
Yeah. Third Anne Hathaway.
Fuck yourself.
I prefer the kid from Gotham.
You want him?
I prefer the kid from Gotham.
You prefer the kid from Gotham?
Fuck you, I've had a drink.
Uh-huh.
And I have to drive home.
Well, let's not fucking broadcast that.
It doesn't matter.
They'll all be dead by then, so.
Probably, because I'll have ran over them.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman.
She is pretty good. She is the one thing I'll rate in that movie. She is sexy pants. I do love her. I just...
Not even Christopher Walken?
He is in that movie, isn't
Yes,
he?
he is.
Plays Shrek or Shek.
Shek.
Max Shek.
It's not Shrek, is it?
It's not Shrek.
I got Shek.
Shek. It's a hard name to say, though.
Stupid name, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I like a bit of Christopher Walken. I think it's mostly the whole Penguin storyline in that movie just doesn't do anything for me.
It's a bit bogging, isn't it?
And his little flippers, you know, when
For me,
he's got them.
it's when he's like eating the fish raw, and he's like, and then he like pokes the pin on the woman, which wouldn't work because there's no pin.
And he's got flippers.
Stupid. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is my number one. Boosh.
Awesome. I feel like that's a solid list that we didn't rush through. So that's a solid episode, I think. Yeah, it was meant to be a shorter one.
A solid episode, Kev.
It was meant to be a shorter one, wasn't it?
Do you want me to drive you home?
No, I'll drive home.
Okay.
I've got my car. I don't need yours. So, are we going to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. And we will be back for a proper episode probably very soon because I do need to get a proper episode in. I just feel like I knew this was going to be a deep dive on Joker.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah,
did.
it certainly was. We went in pretty deep.
It did pretty much kill me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was worried for you when we left the cinema, to be honest. I did actually message the lads in the group chat. You're not in it. I think it had broken you.
Oh, it did. Like, it just that one particular scene. Like, I feel like the whole movie, like, it was a culmination of things happening and just constantly being shat on. And let it be said, like, I'm not saying, because there seems to be a lot of people out there who, because I enjoyed the movie and because I felt a little bit of empathy towards the character, they're kind of like, oh, so you totally agreed with everything he did. No, that's not the case. I did not agree with everything he did. I didn't think it was cool what he did. I felt sorry for him to a point. But then when he fucking snaps and he becomes a psychopath and he goes down that road, it's like, okay, right, I related to you, but I would never go that far. So now...
Yeah, but when did movies become documentaries, though?
Well, this is the thing. They are documentaries. Did you not know? Did you not know that?
If you watch fucking Star Wars, it doesn't mean that would be awesome. Actually,
it would be awesome. Your point is lost because it would be awesome. You, sir, have no point. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go. I absolutely adored the Joker movie. Yeah. Okay.
Marks out of 10. We didn't do that.
Marks out of 10. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. I'd give it a 9. I'd give it a solid 9.
I'd give it an 8.
Yeah, it's definitely up
high.
there.
It's high up there.
It's definitely up there. It isn't, like I say, it isn't perfect. There's a couple of little bits, like I say, the bit outside the hospital when he's just a little bit too confident. I think it's a little bit too early for that at that point in time. There's a couple of little bits that I'm just sort of like, you maybe could have done that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you throw the Crime Alley scene in, it's got to lose a couple of points for that.
That lost me a lot. I don't need to see pearls.
Well, you might as well have had like minions sat there going, dun dun did it. You know, you might as well have had that. Good South Park reference. So yeah, I'd give it a solid 9. Solid 9.
Zack Snyder was sat in the alleyway going, gay.
He's like, doesn't look as good as ad, did it? If it's not a 15-minute fucking slow motion glory shot.
If he's going.
Nah, he probably just went home and watched his version of Crime Alley.
We've all done that.
Yeah. So we're gonna go. We will be back, and we will be back on track and keep this ship moving. Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.